Try a social experiment? Want to try a social experiment? Hello, everyone. Or whoever's watching in retrospect. I should insert some secret clues from now on to see who watches this in retrospect. So if you're watching this in retrospect, say Bumblebee in the comments. I don't know why. Just to know that somebody's watching it. You want to try a social experiment? You guys want to try a social experiment?
No, I'm all right, bro. Thank you.
You guys want to try a social experiment? It is pretty cold today. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you here. Can you hear me all right? You want to try a social experiment? You want to try a social experiment? I just ask you some questions, that's it. You okay being live?
Okay.
What's your name?
Menke.
I'm just gonna turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says, animal abuse should be legal.
Animal abuse should be legal.
Do you agree?
No,
Why not?
because animal abuse should not be legal.
Why?
Because animals are animals.
I mean, yeah, objects are objects, animals are animals.
Because they have feelings.
They have feelings, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you agree that cats or dogs should not be abused?
Yeah.
What about cows, chickens, pigs?
Yeah, same.
Same? Do you consume any animal products?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that there's some abuse happening behind these animal products?
Yes.
So do you think you can be against animal abuse while simultaneously supporting it?
Yeah, that's difficult though.
It's difficult, huh?
Yeah.
Do you, so in that sense, there's a contradiction there, right?
Yeah.
So what would get you to not have this contradiction, to never abuse an animal again?
I think the whole food industry should change in that way too.
They should, they should. But do you
Yeah.
think that you, on your own, do you have any responsibility on your own?
Yeah, eating less animal or eating less animal-based products. Yeah.
But do you think
or
eating
consume.
less is good enough? Like, would you still be abusing animals if you eat less?
I would still abuse animals if I would eat less. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not the solution, is it?
It's a start.
It's a start, yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the solution?
You want to hear that we shouldn't eat animals anymore,
Thank
for
you.
example.
Any animal product. And do you think, like, not just eating, right? Like, do you think is behind wearing leather any abuse?
Yeah, of course, because it's an animal product. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it's somebody's skin, right?
Yeah.
Do you think behind the cosmetics that are tested on animals,
Yeah,
there's
we need to
animal
go.
abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what, like, we've acknowledged that there's abuse. We've acknowledged that the solution is for you to stop. Is there anything holding you back from stopping?
But I have another question.
Yeah.
Like, because I also think that society and animals in the society, the whole setup, the cycle of life, and how we are all part of it is incorrect. So I also think that if we leave it the way it is, that it's gonna become chaos. And there's still there's not animal abuse, but there's still animal. How do you say that? Like we, as persons, how to explain this? There's still going to be sad things happening to animals. They are being
I mean,
consumed
for
by
sure,
other
yeah.
animals,
But not
et cetera,
intentional,
et
huh?
cetera.
Or at least not intentional, right? Like, awful things are happening every day, right?
Well,
Like,
how is it not intentional?
well, people are getting killed every day. Would I ask you, do you pay for people to get killed?
No.
No, but you pay for animals to get killed.
Yeah, but I mean that's also the way the world.
The way doesn't necessarily have to work this way, right? Like
Yeah, but
we
that's
could say the world works
an.
this way also in a system where you pay for people to be
Is
killed.
this live?
Is it life or is it
How
just
is
killing?
this live?
Oh yeah, it's live. It's live.
You didn't tell me that.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said it's live.
No.
I asked you if you're okay with being live. Anyway, you're not in view, so that's
Oh.
okay. As far as I see it.
Yeah.
Are you okay continuing now?
No,
The-
I
the-
need
the
to
slide?
leave because I need to continue.
Can I give you a card to look more into it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I appreciate it. What's your name again? I forgot it. Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna say my name.
No, you're not gonna say it. That's okay. Just scan this code or go
Yeah.
on this website, set it to English, and watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. Okay? It just teaches you about all the practices, because maybe you're maybe a compassionate person and you don't want to participate in all the abuse that animals go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just watch that video. It
Thanks.
teaches you a lot.
Take
It's
care.
nothing wrong with knowing what you participate in. Okay? Thank you. Have a good one. I'm gonna set this camera. Yeah. Oh, Benji, hi. Thank you for moderating. Thank you for being a moderator. Please remember to allow people to ask questions, even if they're kind of store stuffs, and have conversations. That's the purpose of this at the end of the day. You guys want to try a social experiment? I wanted to do a different experiment, but she was with a dog, and I thought, oh, perfect, I'll just turn this around if they're with a dog. You want to try a social experiment? I ask you some questions, get you to think? Okay. You guys want to try a social experiment? Can you explain the experiment? I think you'll see it soon when somebody stops. I just ask people some questions, get them to think a little bit. I did not want to sit in this place again. Hi, you want to try a social experiment? I did not want to sit in this place again, but it's pretty cold outside, and here it's sunny, and when it gets sunny, it's kind of nice and survivable. It's like 10 degrees today. Want to try a social experiment? Okay. You guys want to try a social experiment? Okay. Taking a look at the battery. Good evening. Hey, Mobius. Hi. You guys want to try a social experiment while you're sitting?
What social experiment are you doing?
I'm just asking people some questions, get them to think. You want to try it?
Go for it.
Are you okay being live on YouTube?
I'm sorry?
Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Keeping live on
Being live on YouTube. Are you
I don't
okay
know what
with
you're talking about.
Are you okay with an audience? Is that what I'm asking? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking if I
Yeah.
don't mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Can you come a little bit here so that they can see you? Yeah.
Who are you? Are you an individual thing or a school?
Yeah. It's just an individual thing. It's for my YouTube channel. So, do you think that with power comes responsibility?
Yes.
Do you think that an individual with power should have the right to oppress an individual without power?
No,
No, even if the individual with power gets some benefit out of it?
I don't think he has a right to do that.
Okay, I appreciate that. Do you think that if the person without power does not realize that they're being oppressed, does that give them more of a right to be oppressed?
A right to be oppressed.
Sorry, does that give it more of a right for the powerful to oppress the powerless
No.
if they don't realize that they're oppressed?
No.
No, okay. What if the powerful think that they need it, although they're presented with overwhelming evidence that they don't? Do you think that makes it right for them to continue doing it?
Sorry, the question again?
So if the powerful think that they need to oppress the powerless,
They need to.
yeah, if they think that their existence depends on it, even if there's overwhelming evidence that there isn't, but they refuse to look at the evidence, would you say that they should still not oppress, right?
Right does not make, might does not make right.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, might does not make right. Okay, so I've been asking these questions because I've been meaning to put you to think from the perspective of if there's somebody in power, they should not oppress somebody who's not in power. Can you think of some examples of nowadays when there's things like this happening?
Putin, I guess.
Well, that's a good point, yeah. But like, would you say, for example, that we as individuals, as humans, oppress animals?
Oppress animals.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one. Some do, some don't.
Do you-
I have dogs. I love my dogs and I treat them right.
Yeah, but do you think like cows, chickens, pigs, all these farm animals that we're forcing into slaughterhouses for something that is essentially optional to us, do you think we're oppressing them?
That's a tough one. Yeah. As a meat lover,
Yeah.
I have trouble answering that. I know abattoirs are not nice. I've been in them before.
Yeah.
I've met cows that are going to slaughter.
Yeah,
But the old issue is, would they exist if they weren't being used for feed?
yeah, so I understand why you would have problem answering this question, because it would imply that you would be contradicting yourself in a sense, right? You would contradicting your own values.
If I said they shouldn't be oppressed, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think that these animals should be oppressed? Because wouldn't you say it's oppression when we force them into these situations that they wouldn't otherwise be by themselves, and that we get benefit from, and we do it just because we have power over them and we don't need to do it?
It's an agricultural issue. Are we raising food for humanity? Does it matter whether it's cows, pigs, or corn,
Or dogs,
or dogs, or cats?
or cats,
I've
or
s-
humans.
I've seen all of those
Yeah.
being eaten
Yeah.
in butcher shop. Not humans, but cats and dogs and horses and donkeys and camels and all sorts of things.
Yeah, but you yourself wouldn't actively participate in consuming dog meat, or like would you buy dog meat if that's the only meat you could find?
No.
No, but somehow like with cows, pigs, or chickens, you see it as okay. Can I ask why is that?
It's a tough one. Yeah, an abattoir is not a nice place.
It's not. It's
You've
not.
been to one?
I haven't been because I'm a very sensitive person to this kind of stuff. But I have seen a lot of footage from abattoirs. Yes,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
I've been outside of one where they do this with the other activists, where we sit and animals come by, and then we get to give them some water. We get to say some nice words to them because they're going to their death, basically, and we tell them, "Oh, we're going to be fighting for you" and stuff like that. But I haven't actively been inside an abattoir.
yeah. It's not a nice place.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
there's nice abattoirs, if you could have such a thing, who treat the animals as well as they can, going to the death, and they're processing it.
But let's say regardless, let's say it's the nicest abattoir in the world, they still slaughter these individuals, right? And farmers still exploit them. Like dairy cows are exploited for their milk, chickens are exploited for their eggs, and none of them have consented, and we can't get consent from them.
Of course you can't.
Yeah. So, but would that make it right? Like if we were to apply the same logic to doing this to humans, would it make it right?
Well, humans and animals, I think, are different, because humans, I hope, can think better than animals.
But wouldn't you argue that there's human beings on this planet who can't think better than animals? Like maybe intellectually challenged people who have the same cognitive abilities as animals?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think humans have the capacity to see a future. Animals don't.
Okay.
They see an existence as they are from day one to the day of death.
Okay.
Whereas humans can see history and they can see future.
But okay, and then let me ask you this. Do you think that any of this justifies what we do to them?
justifies. You keep
Yeah.
saying that.
Because the reality is that, like, when we choose to buy an animal product, right? We choose to put an animal into these practices, into a slaughterhouse that you yourself say it's not nice. We choose to exploit them. And if you say you're against it, seems to me like you should be not participating in this, not putting animals into this position, right? So there is something there that is making you either ignore it or just
I'm not ignoring it, but I think there is a place for, since time immemorial, we've been eating animals. It's as simple as that. Wild animals, to start with.
sure, sure. There,
Animals, death, yeah.
but would you say that there's other atrocities that we've been doing since the dawn of time, and
Other-
we stopped?
Well, you're saying it's an atrocity.
It is, right? I mean, we're exploiting and slaughtering sentient individuals just because we have power over them, just because we say we're more intelligent than them. Yet that intelligence is also not measurable by them.
But you're also giving them birth. I mean,
Yeah.
people intentionally raise animals for food.
Does that give them the right to exploit them and take their life?
Is it exploitation? I don't know.
Well, it is using them
You're
solely
calling it
for.
exploitation. I'm not sure it is exploitation. I think it's a fact of life that
Okay, would you say dairy cows are exploited, for example?
dairy cows, no,
Okay, why do cows produce milk?
to feed their babies.
Exactly. So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them, right?
No, the farmers have to have them pregnant,
Yeah.
so they can develop the
Yeah.
glands to
Yeah.
produce milk.
Yeah, so cows don't decide when they want to get pregnant. Farmers decide for them, right?
No, cows do. They get and go into heat.
They're in heat, but they don't decide that they want to be pregnant. Farmers literally put their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and inject bull semen. This is standard practice across the board.
I think you're giving too much right to the intelligence of a cow.
I don't think it's about intelligence. I think it's about emotions. These animals have emotions.
No, the cow doesn't know it has an option. It has only a natural.
But we know. Does it matter that they know? Like, that's why I asked, does it
No.
matter? Does oppressing
But
somebody...
you're saying the cow doesn't have an option about the argument about whether it gets pregnant or not.
Okay.
It in fact doesn't, because when it comes into heat, that's when it looks for a bull to impregnate it. So
Yeah.
a cow does have that option.
Yeah, but that's
If
not what they're looking. They're not looking for a human to put their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and inject bull semen, right? In their vagina, right?
Now you're going to veterinary science.
Well, that's what the standard practice. But let's say you have no problem with this, although I think that's kind of weird. But like when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
The babies, the cows, depends on what they are, male or female.
Well, the first thing is they get separated from their mother because we need to take their milk. We need to take the mother's
Oh,
milk.
no.
Oh yes, standard
No, no, no,
practice.
no, no. I grew up on a farm. We share the milk with the calf. We take some, the calf gets some. Simple as that.
Oh, that's not standard practice across the board. If you buy milk from the supermarket, that's not what happens.
Well, if I don't know, I grew up on a farm and we shared it with the calf.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. So maybe you saw one farm where they do that, but that's not what happens nowadays. And let's go even further. If they're male, what happens to them?
If what?
If they're male,
Male, they get probably castrated.
they
and
get slaughtered.
eventually- And slaughtered, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
And if,
back to the same argument.
so when do dairy cows get slaughtered?
When what?
When do dairy cows get slaughtered?
When they're finished producing.
Yeah, so that's about 6 to 7 years,
Maybe 10, 12.
and they can live 25 years, so they don't live even half their life. Would you say any of this is exploitation?
But would they have a life if they weren't brought up on the dairy?
Would you say any of this is exploitation?
I will not use that word, no.
Why?
Because I don't think it is. I think it's just a use of an agricultural product.
But you see what happened is we talked about oppression. We talked about the powerful not oppressing the powerless. And when I show you that you're in a position of power and you're oppressing the animals, what comes to mind is the fact that you probably need to change. And this thing called cognitive dissonance sets in, where your mind actively tells you don't listen to this, don't agree with this, and go against it. But the reality is you are aware that we are oppressing them. We are like
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're not.
You are. You're using the word oppression.
Okay.
I'm not.
What is oppression?
That I don't know. You tell
It's
me.
cruel or unjust treatment or exercise of authority. So that's the literal definition of it.
So does the king oppress his people?
If he's oppressing his people, yes. If he's using cruel or unjust treatment, yes.
Most
would you
people
say
in
it's
power do.
Would you say it's just to do this to animals for something that is optional to us?
Let's go back to people. Is it just for a king to oppress his people?
No.
The king needs to oppress his people to make those wealth. They,
But it's not just, is it? Would you find it fair for a king to do that to its people?
no, of course not.
So why do you think it's fair to do this to animals?
But would his people think they were oppressed? The answer is no, because they're born into a certain situation.
So that's why I asked, do you think oppression is right if the oppressed don't know, realize that they're oppressed? And you argued, no, oppression is still bad. So again, does it matter?
But I haven't agreed that animals are oppressed.
But do you think it's just what we do to them?
Yes.
You think it's fair to slaughter them for something that is optional to us? You think it's fair to put them in this situation?
If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you would say no. But if you're a person who consumes meat, and it has been done since day one of this world, animals have always been used as a source of food.
How is that fair? It's, regardless if you eat meat or not, you can acknowledge whether it's fair or not. Like, it doesn't matter whether because, like, I understand that you're trying to avoid being a hypocrite right now, right?
No,
But-
no, I'm not. I'm not. I really believe that animals have a use in life, and their death is one of the uses that we have.
Okay.
And that's not oppression, and those are words you're using.
Are humans animals?
Yes,
So would it be justified to do this to a human being?
destroy a human being.
Would it be justified to do the same thing to a human being?
Because they know history and they know future.
What if there's human beings who don't? Let's say they're born with a disease where they don't
but
know
they
the future.
don't. Human beings do know.
There are
They're
there are all
thinking-
sorts of diseases in this world.
They're
There could be
thinking
humans.
animals. They're thinking animals, humans.
And what if there's humans who can't think?
There are no humans who
There
can't
are
think.
humans who can't think.
Who?
Intellectually challenged people who can't think about the future.
The what?
Intellectually challenged people.
Intellectually challenged?
Yeah.
Yes, but they're a minority.
They're a minority. So would it be okay to slaughter them?
We don't slaughter them. We don't oppress
Why
them.
not?
We take care of them.
Well,
Well,
the reason
sorry,
you
in,
say
in, a
the
culture,
re-
in an advanced culture, we take care of them. Some people kill them.
But according to your own morals, we should be okay slaughtering them.
Why?
Because the reason you say, or
No.
oppressing them, because the reason you say why animals, it's okay to oppress animals, is because they're less intellectually,
No.
their intellect is less than
They
ours.
can't see the future and the past.
Yeah, so if I
They-
find a
they
human
don't-
being that can't see the future or the past,
If the animals
would it be
are
okay to
slaughtered
slaughter them?
as much painlessly as possible, I see nothing wrong with it.
Again, applying the same logic to a human being that can't see the future or the past.
No, but
So
they
then
do.
you're inconsistent. You see, there's a contradiction there in your logic.
No, you're trying to twist my words to suit your theory.
No, I'm
Yes,
just trying
you
to show.
are. You
I'm-
are.
okay,
You
tell me
really
what
are.
is the difference between a human being and an animal that justifies treating them differently?
Because they can see the past and the future.
Okay, so you say that is the difference.
I'm
And if
saying
I
that
find
the-
an animal that doesn't have this difference with a human being, would it be okay to slaughter the human being?
But you're assuming an awful lot there that doesn't exist.
But you're saying what the difference
No,
is.
no, I'm saying the difference is we take care of the disabled, the ones who can think. We do things for them. We provide them with
And why not
housing
do the same to animals?
because we need them for food.
But we don't. We
We
can
do.
survive and thrive without exploiting them.
Unless you take away all the meat appetites in the world, you need them for food.
Well, if I have an appetite
about
for
a
human
fish?
meat,
A
if I
fish?
have appetite for human meat, would that make it okay to slaughter them?
You don't have an appetite for human beings.
Well, if I did, there's
But
humans
you
who
don't.
do.
I can't make the assumptions you do.
So you can't judge hypotheticals. You say because let's put it like this. I could draw the line and say it's okay to exploit you because you can't answer hypotheticals. I can. I obviously am superior intellectually because I can answer hypotheticals. I can imagine a hypothetical and therefore answer it. You can't.
But-
So therefore, I should
hang
be able
on.
to slaughter you
Hang
and
on.
oppress you.
You're twisting again. You're twisting.
I'm drawing an arbitrary
no,
line
no,
just
I
like
can
you
deal
are.
with hypotheticals.
Okay.
But I don't think that is a hypothetical. The
Okay.
difference between a disabled person, intellectually disabled person, and an animal.
Okay.
You keep trying to draw that line, but I don't think it is.
Well, you draw the line at intelligence. You say it's intelligence, and I tell you there's less
I'm saying
intelligent
it's the
people.
ability to see past, future, and knowing where they are.
Yeah.
Animals can't do that.
And if we find humans who can't,
Now,
there's 8 billion
that's
people on this planet.
extremism. You're going to extremism.
If we find people who can't, okay, I'm going to extremism. That's okay, you can believe that. But if we find one human being on this planet, two in fact, out of 8 billion people who can't, should we be able to exploit them?
Should no, but are we? Can we do it? Adolf Hitler killed millions.
Do you think it would be
Adolf
okay to
Hitler
exploit
killed
them?
thousands and thousands of disabled people because he just didn't want to put up with them.
Do you think it would be okay to exploit them?
You keep using that term. I don't think it's exploitation.
Do you think it would be okay to exploit humans that are the same intellectual capacity of an animal, who can't see the past or the future, as you say it?
I don't think you'll find that human.
Okay,
I think.
but if I find
hang on. You'll find the
Again, hypothetically,
You'll
I find
find a
that.
family with a disabled person will be able to see that, and they will understand what that person's going through.
Hypothetically, this person does not have a family anymore. It's simple.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
you keep thinking you just can't deal with it that way.
Because, but no, you see what
Hypothetically,
you see
yeah.
because the reality is not intelligence that matters. That's the thing, right? Because there's obviously far more intelligent people and far less intelligent people. If you draw arbitrarily the line of the fact that they can see the past or the future is a very arbitrary line, because that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't give you moral value. What gives you moral value is the capability to have a subjective experience, to experience the world around you. Right, that's what gives you moral value. The fact that you can feel emotions, the fact that you can feel pain, the fact that you can interact with your environment. That's what gives you moral value. And the
Yeah.
fact that you can have emotions towards that interaction. Animals have all that. Humans have that also. That's why a human being has moral value, not because of their intelligence, because again, there's human beings who don't have intelligence. It's the same. So animals, the reason why animals have moral value is because of that.
I think you're in a position that you can't understand that there is a need for food. You see
There's
that-
no need to exploit animals.
Well, that's your position.
Well, no,
call
that
it-
is- that
Hang
is
on, no, no, no.
arguably
You're
better.
calling it exploitation. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not exploitation.
Of course you're not calling it exploitation because again, it would mean you're a hypocrite if you call it exploitation.
Wrong, wrong. I've said from the start of this conversation, you need animals for food.
Would it be exploitation if we did this to humans?
You keep saying that.
No. Let's just
No, no,
judge
no,
the
no,
word
you
exploitation because you
can't
say
go
it's not
there.
exploitation.
You cannot go there.
But
You
I
cannot
ask you,
go there.
so you're not able to do any hypotheticals or compare anything. You see, again, I can draw the line and say that you are less than me because I am able to do this. You are not.
No, I think you're less than me because you're very rigid in your opinions, and you
Rigid.
You
You
are
you
totally
fail to
rigid.
answer all my questions.
You're totally in.
You fail to answer any of my questions. How am I rigid?
I told you exactly what the questions were. You're using the word.
You're just saying humans are humans. You basically, because you belong to the group human, you say everybody who's in my group deserves to live. Everybody outside, animals, they're okay to be exploited as long as I get some form of pleasure from it, which is taste pleasure, right? That's what it is. Because
I don't
that's
think
what
anybody
you
gets
do.
pleasure in slaughtering animals.
No, but you get pleasure from the result of the slaughter of the animals. You ignore the slaughter of the animals. You
No,
actively ignore it. You're apathetic towards
Mate,
it.
I grew up on a farm. I do not ignore the slaughter of animals.
You're apathetic to it, right? Because you actively
Sorry?
you're apathetic towards it.
Apathetic. No, I think it's a necessity for food.
Well,
production.
science says otherwise. Science says we can survive and thrive without any animal products.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can.
Okay, so then if
Are
we
you a
can,
vegetarian?
I'm vegan. Yes, so
You're
if we
vegan.
can, yeah,
that's
yeah,
I see
because
your
I
point.
oppose the idea, but I'm also an animal rights activist. That's why I'm sitting here, because I believe animals deserve the life to live, not for us to exploit them and slaughter them for something that is optional to us. Again, it is optional to us. Would you argue that it is optional to us?
You're not going to win that argument.
Is it optional to us?
Optional for what?
For us to consume animal products.
To
Consume animal products.
is it optional? Yes.
Yes, it is optional.
But-
Okay, so
but-
would you
but-
say
but-
killing
but-
an animal for optional products is okay?
But you're assuming that by killing an animal in an abattoir and for processing the meat, that's a thing that you're impressing the animal. All you're doing is using it for what it was designed and bred for. And that's where we'll never agree.
So would killing an animal for something that is optional to you be okay?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay. Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
would
it is because that's what they were bred for. That's
Okay.
what they were born for on chickens,
so if I
cows.
why does that matter? Why would external factors matter, right? Like if I put a purpose onto you, why would it matter? Does that mean like if I put a purpose, you say this animal
purpose?
yeah, that's what you say. You say this animal was bred to be killed for
Yeah.
my own pleasure, right?
That's right.
That's what you say.
For your own pleasure.
Yeah, well, it is your
No,
pleasure.
for food.
No, it's taste pleasure.
No, food's an essential.
You can get food also as a. You
Food's
can
an
get all the
essential.
nutrition you need without exploiting animals.
But I think you can also kill an animal and use it for food.
Yeah,
without
so
any-
you
without
choose to
feel-
do it because
without
you like
feeling-
it.
Without feeling guilty.
But you choose to do it because you like it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is pleasure.
No.
Yeah, it is.
It's because I enjoy eating meat.
Exactly, it's enjoyment. It's for enjoyment. There you go.
But without the cow being alive, the cow would not be alive were
Yeah.
it not bred for food.
Yeah. So is it fair to bring somebody to existence for the sole purpose of exploiting and slaughtering them?
Exploiting. You keep saying exploiting.
It is exploitation to
No,
force
it's not
somebody to
exploitation.
pregnancy, to take their babies away, to steal their milk, and to use them for whatever it is good. And the minute that you can no longer use them, because that's the key. That's why it's exploitation. Because the minute you can no longer use them, you kill them. The minute a dairy cow you can no longer use, you kill it. Do you not do that to a cow?
I do not understand your argument at all.
Really?
I don't understand your argument because you're ignoring the fact that it's agriculturally.
Yeah, we should draw
need
the line.
animals.
Then you should be exploited and slaughtered because you don't understand the argument. I should draw an arbitrary line right now and exploit and slaughter you.
We're not going to get together. See you
No,
later.
but
Take care.
maybe don't exploit innocent beings, you know?
I'm going to keep eating steak.
Yeah, because you're an awful person. Yeah, you are. You're a bad person. You're apathetic person, and you choose to be ignorant towards it. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Animal abuser. I got a bit triggered by this person. V. Jamie, for someone who values intelligence, he sure is dumb. Yeah. I see there's a lot of people watching. Hey, everybody, if you're watching and you like what you see, I know after this interaction, please subscribe and like and this video. Funny, I know. I usually don't get so hot-headed. It's just this guy pissed me off. He refused. Like, that's the thing. That's the weird, like, cognitive. Like, he refused to accept anything. The minute we brought animals, the minute he realized he has to change, is the minute that he stopped agreeing with anything. No, we're not oppressing them. We're not doing anything. Like, he refused absolutely all of it. Anyway. Let's come and let's get somebody else. Maybe we get some. You guys want to try a social experiment? Just ask you some questions, that's it. English. Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Depends. Is it a porn channel?
I don't think there's a porn. Are there porn channels on YouTube?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess sure. What's it for?
I just get you to think a little bit, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. So it says animal abuse should be legal. Do you agree?
Oh, I'm not much of a debater. Animal abuse should be illegal.
It's okay, we don't have to debate. We can have a little conversation.
Well, that's what animal abuse should be. Animal abuse should be legal.
Yeah.
You're making that statement.
Yeah. Do you think it's true? Do you agree?
Well, what do you find as abuse?
It's a good question. I would say physical or emotional harm.
All animals?
Yeah, I mean, all animal abuse should be legal. Yes.
Well, I don't know. In society we differentiate between chickens and cats and dogs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, right? To see,
Right.
because you would agree that it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs, right? Is it wrong to abuse cats or dogs?
Yes, but then it should also be wrong to be abused chickens and pigs.
You got it. Yes, exactly. So do you consume any animal products?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Don't put that on YouTube.
Do you see any contradiction there?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
So is there anything holding you back from never abusing an animal?
Yeah, it's difficult. Yes, he's standing right there.
What?
Well, because I've tried to, cook more vegetarian and
Yeah, you
eat
do
less
cook
meat.
more vegetarian. Yeah, we eat less meat.
We're
Yeah.
trying. We're trying.
But-
Yeah.
Slowly.
But we
And
eat
I-
fish, so that could be abusing
No,
the fish.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
because
an
fish are
animal.
also sentient, right? They also
Right.
have emotions. They feel pain, right?
But then we found people that are sensitive to abusing animals, but they're not sensitive to streets being reduced for bicycles.
Well, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I think that's a different case, huh? Like,
Yeah.
I would argue that there's obviously a lot of issues in this world,
Right.
and like you wouldn't go to a person fighting for women's rights, tell them, why are you fighting for women's rights? Why are you not fighting for this rights, right? Like I'm here fighting for animal rights, and sometimes I speak about LGBTQ rights, and sometimes I speak about women's rights, but right now I'm speaking for animal rights. And I'm curious, what is it that you believe is the difference? Because if I were to ask you, if there would only be dog meat in the supermarket, Would
No.
you buy that?
I don't know. I've never had dog meat.
Yeah. Is that the only reason why what would keep you from it?
I don't know.
Is there no thought about the
I
victims?
mean, I grew up on a farm, so it was common to self-sustain.
I understand that. I come from Romania, where my grandma had animals in her backyard, and she would use the animals for her own needs, and I get that. But nowadays, we live in a society where we don't need to be doing any of this to these animals. We can live, survive, and thrive without any exploitation, any abuse for them. And choosing for us to do so, wouldn't you say it's cruel or unjust?
I would say that we don't need to produce animals the way we produce animals for consumption.
Okay,
That's abuse.
that's abuse.
That's abuse. So,
Like bringing them to existence to exploit them.
yeah, like dairy farmers,
Yeah.
thousands of cattle on a farm that they just stand all day. That's abuse to me.
Okay. What do you
The milk
think?
the milk that they produce.
Well, it's a bigger societal question because like we can say, okay, yes, we're educated and we can make decisions because we're of a certain financial means,
Yeah.
right? But then there's people who have not had the same means that we have had the benefit of.
Yeah.
Who will be like, why do I have to give up my hamburgers because other people are telling me I didn't grow up with hamburgers. Why can't I have them? All those people did all those years.
Hence why even more of a responsibility on our shoulders to stop, right? Because if we raise the demand for plant-based products lower in price. But like there's actually been 3 studies that show that being plant-based is actually cheaper than being eating animals, because a lot of the times when you think of like vegan products, we think of plant-based meats or plant-based cheeses, and those are slightly more expensive in a lot of the cases. But if we think about the cheapest fruit foods in the supermarket, which is vegetables, rice, chickpeas,
Yeah,
beans,
yeah, yeah,
lentils,
yeah.
tofu, all of these are pretty cheap, and that they're quite affordable. Like in fact, the wealthiest nations consume, I don't know, like disproportionately amount
Yeah.
of meat
Yeah.
compared to the poorer nations, right?
Yeah.
So, and not just meat, any animal product, but for me, it's not necessarily, for me, it's more of an issue of the rights of animals, the exploitation that animals endure, because just because we don't see it, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right? I mean,
Right. I mean, I suppose you said that animals have emotions.
Yeah.
They may have physical reactions to pain. I mean, there's a difference between that and an emotion.
so there's 2 declarations of consciousness, one from Cambridge and one from the New York Declaration of Consciousness, where they admit that animals have consciousness or sentience, and they have positive or negative valence emotions. That means they feel happiness or sadness or a whole range of emotions among those sides, which you can consider positive or negative. So they do feel what you do to them. That's why a lot of the dogs, because if you have had pets or stuff like that, you see them. Some of them are have emotional issues from one single event going further, because they felt the emotions. They still think about it sometimes. They still
That's
dream
interesting.
about it.
Well, maybe it'll help us along.
Yeah.
But I've certainly considered it and stepped on a little bit more of a path. It's a little bit more difficult when considering the both of us.
Yeah. But we're moving in that direction.
I love that you're moving in that direction, but let me ask you this: do you think it's a moral obligation for us to stop oppressing animals?
No,
No.
not in a hierarchy of moral obligations. No, I mean.
So you don't see it as a moral obligation?
Well, I mean, not if you put it above starving children. No.
No, but like, I mean, like, if you yourself are participating in something that is sending children to be starved or making children starved, then I would argue that, okay, maybe in your value system you should stop doing that first. But in your own value system, when you make this choice 3 times per day, let's say when you consume an animal product, you make this choice 3 times per day, nobody's forcing you to make this choice, and you always have the option to not oppress an animal or exploit an animal.
Right.
So in that sense, you can care about all the other stuff and every other stuff in this world, but when it comes to making this choice, just make the choice that doesn't exploit them.
Okay. Something to think about. Thank
Something
you.
to think about.
Yeah.
Can I
thank
ask
you.
why is do you again? Why do you see not do you not see it as a
We
moral
have an
obligation?
appointment to get to.
Okay, can I give you a card to look into it?
Uh, no, I'm one of my best friends is vegan, and I'm like well versed in it.
Okay, please
But
think
thank
about
you.
the victims, okay? If you were in their shoes, you wouldn't want this to happen. Yeah. The funny thing is, when I talk to somebody, a lot of people stop and watch, but nobody wants to have a conversation when I sit with a sign like this. Or very few people stop. It's just kind of annoying. Yeah. It's sad that people are so apathetic towards this issue, you know? It's sad that people think it's more important to. Volume is very low, you say. I don't think I can change that right now. Let me see if I can change it. Oh, yeah. Is it better now? Do you guys hear me better now? Is the volume better now? It's getting warmer. I can hear fine. Volume is alright. Let me see. Volume is fine. I can turn it down a little. Okay. Okay, I put it like this. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate this. We need to we need to have a good stream. Yeah, you want to try a social experiment? You want to try a social experiment? Okay, got pretty warm. I'm gonna take off my jacket. Yeah, I know. Thank you for that dandelion gum. I know people do indeed. It does make a difference. It's hard to accept that. You want to try a social experiment? It's hard to accept that people find it so difficult to change, you know, that they're so blockheads about it. I don't know what to call it, because it is kind of like a blockhead thing to just refuse to change or refuse to admit that it is an issue. Richard Cushing says, meat is good, a lot of protein. It is for you, it's not good for the victims, is it? You want to try a social experiment? Dude's jacked. Yeah. Oh. You guys want to try a social experiment? Hi. Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Yeah, sure, that's all right.
Okay, what's your name?
Apurva.
Nice to meet you.
Apurva.
Apulva?
Apurva.
Okay, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Shubhi.
Shubi, nice to meet you. Okay,
Okay.
so where are you from?
India.
India, okay.
Same,
Yeah, yeah, same, okay. Okay, I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
I don't think that should be correct. Animal abuse should not be legal.
Why not?
You shouldn't be torturing other lives.
Okay, okay, so it's wrong. Well, why not? Wait.
I mean, we are also animals, right? If somebody would torture us, we would feel bad. They're also animals. They're like kind of like us, but not the same DNA. So if we are abusing them, we should abuse ourselves also.
Okay.
People do that.
Yeah.
How would you define abuse?
Abuse is anything that hurts their emotions.
That they
or-
haven't consented to could be cruel. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like they could be hurting, but they can't say it out loud.
Yeah, I would say physical or emotional pain.
Yeah, both
Okay.
of those count. Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, so you agree that cats or dogs should not be abused?
All animals.
All
Okay,
animals.
so no cows, no chickens, no pigs?
No.
No. Do you consume any animal products?
I eat dairy.
You eat dairy.
I eat dairy.
Do you consume any? Also just dairy or all animal products?
I eat chicken.
You eat chickens. Do you think there's any abuse happening behind these industries, behind
Yeah.
dairy or behind chickens?
There is.
Yeah. So would you see a contradiction there?
I do. I mean, I think we tend to look past it if it's not happening in front of our eyes. We just tend to, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate you saying that and being honest because it's true. But just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
And do you think that when you buy an animal product, you are supporting this industry?
I mean, yeah, it relies on consumption by the user. So yeah, the more there is demand, the more people will come up and do these things. So
Yeah.
that's
So in a sense, when you say you're against animal abuse, can you be against animal abuse while you're supporting it? No.
not fully, no, yes.
No. So bringing this to attention, it means you have two ways to go going forward. You're either against animal abuse or you continue supporting it. Which
Oh,
way
yeah,
do you
no,
want to be?
that's-
Which one do you want to do?
I am completely against it, but you're right. See, it's like completely cutting it off is also a drastic change in my lifestyle. So I can like slowly take steps towards, cutting off dairy products as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure, why not? One step at a time.
I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
so what you mean is like you want to cut it off altogether at some point, but you just want to take a step.
Take
by
a step at
approach.
a time. Yeah.
Is that also what you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So we understand that it's bad. We understand that you don't want to be part of it and that you are responsible for it. Why do you not see it as an urgency?
No, I'm not saying it's not urgent to me. It's just that I know completely cutting it off is not something sustainable for me. I need to bring in one step at a time. So that's what I'm doing.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not urgent. It's,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So you agree also with the urgency of it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So would you agree that going forward, when you buy an animal product, regardless of the animal product, you will exploit and slaughter an innocent sentient being?
Oh no, that thought will definitely come to my head, and probably that will stop me from buying it. So
Yeah.
that will stay at the back of my head. Yes.
Okay, okay. And but what is keeping you from saying no right now and saying never buying an animal product? Because like it seems like
It's
you're
not
there.
sustainable, man.
It's not sustainable?
It's not sustainable.
Because-
no, not like all of it at once is not sustainable.
Can I ask in one way? In what way? Or is it like you would crave it again, or what would happen?
I mean, that's one part of it. Then I have my routine built up around, this is the kind of breakfast I'll be having, this is what my meal plan is, and things of that sort, right? So, like, just completely cutting it off, I need to slowly find substitutes for it and then go forward, right? So,
Okay,
in
okay.
that way, yes.
What if I give you some resources that will help you with all of it? Like give you all the resources that you need and everything.
Yeah, that helps.
Would you see it as important to stop right away?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, okay. How about you?
Yeah, of course. If I had the resources, if I was able to cut it off completely, sure, I would do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, we also need to devote a big chunk of our life to like just do that immediately and like manage it alongside our work and everything. But yeah, I mean that's something I do feel all of us should be doing. So yes.
Okay, let's put it in a different perspective. If you were to be participating in exploiting or slaughtering dogs, would you find it important to stop right now? Like if you find out that the dairy or the chickens is actually coming from exploited and slaughtered dogs,
Yeah, no.
would you stop today?
Yeah.
Okay, so then so somehow there is, and would you have a difficulty stopping today?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's difficult to put
It's
myself
the
in.
same thing. Like we have to really keep reminding ourselves that okay, this is happening,
Yeah.
and that would make it easier for us to adapt to the change. But that's what we don't have enough reminders around us. So I guess we just get carried away.
I appreciate that. That's why I have this folder with me. So
Oh, okay, wow.
I don't know if do you know anything, like what do you know about the dairy industry, for example?
What do I know about this? I know milk isn't really important for humans to survive. It was like all this big milk propaganda by the government back in the time to help the farmers.
Yeah,
Other than that, I don't know what else do I know.
yeah. So why do cows produce milk?
For their babies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So farmers, they forcefully impregnate cows.
Exactly.
They put their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and inject
Yeah.
with semen, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
I mean, they're probably not given their mother's milk.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's us who are using that. I don't know how the babies grow up, but yeah, they're not given their mother's milk.
Yeah, they're separated from their mothers
Yeah.
from the start. And then if they're male, what do you think happens to them?
They're slaughtered for meat.
Exactly. And if they're female, year-over-year forceful impregnation for 6 to 7 years, when they can no longer be impregnated with ease, and then they all go to a slaughterhouse,
Yeah.
and they can live up to 25 years. So it's a miserable life already.
It
yeah?
is, yeah, I agree.
It's and they don't live even half their lifespan.
Yeah.
And just to like, it will be a bit graphic, but like This is the kind of stuff that
Yeah,
happens in
I've watched videos
slaughterhouses.
about
You've
this,
watched
actually.
videos
I
about
have,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty graphic, huh? So this is what you're supporting when you're buying animal products. This is the kind of stuff that you're supporting, and it's not only bad for the animals; it's also bad for the workers in these factories.
That's true. I agree.
It's bad for everybody, and so nobody benefits from this, right?
Yeah.
So, is there anything I can do right now to convince you to go vegan today?
I know, I'm already halfway there. I'm a vegetarian. It's not, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
You
so,
tell me.
so by the way, being vegan is not a diet like vegetarian. It's a moral philosophy. It's a moral principle where we oppose the idea that animals should be treated like objects or
Yeah.
they shouldn't be commodified. We shouldn't be exploiting them for something that we don't need because you said it's optional. So therefore, we just go through with it. And I think like you align with all the definition. It's just a matter of aligning your actions with your
Yeah,
morals,
that's
right?
correct. That's correct.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you some resources as I said, but I'll ask you one final question. How many more animals do you want to be exploited for you before you change?
The answer to that has to be zero. Man.
Has to be zero. Okay, then you gotta go vegan. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the only way to do it. Okay, I'll. This is a. This is a. If you scan this code or go on this website and type in this code, there's a thing there called the most important speech you'll ever hear. It's a
Okay.
very nice speech.
Okay.
I urge you to watch that. And
Okay.
if you need help, Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day,
Oh, okay.
That's
all of it to be vegan. And do you live in Netherlands or in Amsterdam? Here?
India.
India, okay.
Yeah.
While in Amsterdam, I strongly recommend the vegan restaurants. They're not tourist traps like all the other restaurants are, and the food is absolutely delicious.
Oh, sure. I'm going to try one today for dinner. Then.
I appreciate it. Okay,
Sure.
and please no more exploitation of animals, right?
that's-
Even if you were in their shoes, even one is too much.
Yeah, no,
okay?
that's true. I agree.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
I
Thank
forgot
you
your
so
name.
much.
Say
Apurva.
Apurva. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Shubhi.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
okay.
meet you as
You also have my social media there in case
Yeah,
you
I
need
will.
more help.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm waiting for a friend, but are you doing only the vegan social experiment? Is
Yeah.
that the one?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't
just
know if it's
heard
the vegan social experiment.
the
I do
vegan.
multiple social experiments.
Okay.
But
Tell
you,
me one.
You want to try one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you want to come and view so that are you okay being
Sure.
live?
Okay. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay. So
Okay.
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 So, how do you feel about oppression?
How would I feel about it? Well,
Would you
I'm
say it's
against
right?
it.
You'd say
Yeah,
it's against
okay.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Of course not, but I think that's the reality we live in. you
That's the
know?
reality.
It's not up to me, but yeah.
No, I mean
of
I agree
course.
that there's horrible things happening in the world, but what we're talking about here is more like what we want to strive towards, right? So,
Okay,
so in
yeah.
that sense, when I ask you if the powerful should have the right to oppress
No,
the
of
powerful,
course not.
okay,
Yeah.
of course not. Even if they get some benefit from it, and by they I mean the powerful.
Yeah, well, of course they get the benefit, so that's why they're doing it. But it's not a thing you're supposed to do. But
Okay,
yeah.
and even if the powerless they don't realize that they're oppressed.
Yeah, I feel like at least in my country we vote for the people that oppress us. I mean, not me personally, but
Yeah.
the people I vote for will not ever win because, well, yeah, it is how it is. You're from Netherlands, right?
No, I'm from Romania originally, but I live here.
Okay,
in the
I'm from
Netherlands.
Croatia. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
I get
people
it.
that are if you know, maybe you know the countries. Depends on your political
Yeah.
views about Europe countries. I don't know, but if you know Croatia, it is. I don't know how famous you are, if I'm allowed to say that.
I'm
but
not very famous now. Don't
Okay,
worry
good.
about it.
Because well, I'm gonna be a doctor soon, so it's not good for me to talk about.
Okay, that's okay. You don't say anything
Yeah,
about
I
it. then
will
that's
not
fine.
go into political views about
Yeah.
that.
Do you okay, so I asked you if the powerless don't realize that the oppressed is still wrong. How about if the powerful think that they need it, even when presented with overwhelming evidence that they don't need to oppress the powerless?
I think it's still greed, you know?
Yeah.
They would not change it. In our country, my country, what happened was that they gave them bigger salaries to decrease the stealing, and they still did it. I think it's not about that. I think it's just greed. So if you're at that position, I think you're just gonna be at that position forever if they don't downgrade you. So yeah.
Okay. So then I come to the final question, which is, what do you think about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Well, I'm vegetarian, so I mean I'm not vegan as you said, but I am vegetarian. I don't agree with it, and I don't think it's like necessary for human diet as well. So yeah. For
Why are you
me-
vegetarian?
Well, I honestly don't like to eat animal flesh, and like I don't know, it's pretty.
Is it like a moral objection to the idea of slaughtering animals?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, like all the proteins I get, I can get like I do get it from cheese and everything, which is animal products. But again, it's not like killing animals.
What do you know about the
Uh,
dairy industry?
Exactly. I don't know much to like be objective about everything. I don't agree with any of that. I think people could survive without.
Also without the cheese or
Exactly,
dairy
and
products.
eggs, and
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree. Like I said, I'm not to be like a hypocrite here,
Yeah.
so I do eat like cheese and stuff.
But let me tell you about the
But
dairy
yeah.
products. Maybe if there's something you can get from this, is what happens in the
Yeah,
dairy industry.
okay.
So why do you think cows produce milk? This is, by the
Well-
way, what turned me vegan. I was also vegetarian. Why do you think cows
Yeah.
produce milk?
Well, I mean, they still do the same thing. Like for meat, it's the same,
Yeah. So
pretty
the-
same picture.
yeah. So they produce milk for their babies.
Yeah.
So farmers,
but-
they have to force them to be pregnant, right? They
Yeah.
forcefully impregnate them. Yeah, somebody there
Okay,
screaming. When the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
I believe. I mean, either they exploit them or they kill them for meat, or I
Yeah.
mean, either leather. Depends. Clothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the first thing they do is they separate them from their mother.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if they're male, indeed they get slaughtered. If they're female, year over year forceful impregnation for
Yeah.
6 to 7 years, when they can no longer be impregnated with ease, and then they all go to a slaughterhouse,
Yeah,
and they
I
can live up to
believe-
25 years. So then
Yeah,
they live
so
in half their
it's-
life.
I have to tell you, it's the same thing like everything. It's not only about animals. We do that for everything. I feel like people exploit other people as well, just for some purposes.
I agree with
So,
you.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, yeah.
But if
Okay,
we
to
can
talk
stop,
about
but if we
animals.
can stop, right? Like even with
Yeah.
people, if you have the option to not oppress a person, you should not do it, right?
No, for sure. I mean, I would go vegan because of that. Like, I have no
Okay.
strong emotions for that.
Okay.
Like, I have no strong emotions for any food. Like to say if wine doesn't count. So yeah, honestly, I'm pretty chill about it. But I feel like, how to say it, people are too needy and too greedy to do that. Like nobody, like I said, nobody. Even when you talk, most people you talk about going vegan, they look at you like you're insane just because.
A lot of
Why
people,
would
yeah.
you not eat that if you could? But that's just, you see, like
Yeah.
personal need to, like, people are mostly lazy. That's it.
They're mostly.
That's-
I agree, and then they
it's
come up with
just that.
justifications to not do it.
Exactly, but it's
Yeah.
not only about that, it's about anything in life. So, and I know that the best. Like, even if you tell like a diabetic person, for example, for me, like a real life experience, if you tell the diabetic they're on 6 different medications not to, you're just supposed to eat right. You see, it's not that big. They will not do it. Even if it's like maximum pills, even if it's their life, they will still not do it just because you need to put some effort to it, and people don't want to do that. So
And-
if you want to go the easy thing, it's
And I agree with you, like with the fact that people obviously still smoke, whereas the
Yeah,
dangers of
exactly.
smoking is very well known. But I think the biggest difference between that and like consuming animal products is that the victims is not the people who consume them, but rather the animals.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't know that, But it's still, for smoking, for example, we had like in a ER, people come with like 50 years of smoking, and then they stop for the past like 2 weeks, and you ask them why, and they're like, I felt like it. It's not you felt like it. You knew something is really wrong, and they usually do have cancer. But
Oh,
like
wow.
at that moment, it's like 50 years back, you're not gonna return. Like, but you know in your subconscious that something is wrong. That's why you stopped. So the main question is like, why did you stop smoking for the past 2 weeks? And they never know the answer just because they don't want to admit it. But they know you got cancer. You're just here for me to tell you that, like, okay, we can do CT, we can do MRI, but like you do have cancer. But that's still like, I cannot undo your 50 years of self-harm. but it's the same for everything. So I feel like people will not listen to it, even if it's like themselves, they will not listen. So especially if it's like animals or other people, they're still like, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
personally have found it that easier. Like I also have, of course, vices like everybody
Yeah.
else, and I personally have found it easier to stop any of the wrong things I considered wrong when there's other victims, when I'm
Yeah.
not the victim. Um, so it was easy for me to be vegan. But now bringing it back to us, like I understand about society, I understand about people, but what do you think you want to do with this? Do you want to continue oppressing animals by consuming dairy products, or do you want to stop?
No, like I would have no problem stopping, honestly. Like
Okay.
if it's for, you know, some bigger purpose, I have no problem. I just feel it's sad that you won't get that many people
That's
with
true.
the same opinion. You know, like that's the thing. You need a lot of people to agree for the same topic to actually be worth it for some other, you know, big cause.
I mean, there is still a
But
change,
yeah.
right? Like, there's obviously we slaughter and exploit tens of billions of animals per year.
Yeah.
So you on your own could say you don't make a difference, but there is still like
Yeah, of course, you
100
do
animals
make
or something.
exactly.
You don't make a difference.
You do
to
make
some.
a difference.
Yeah.
I agree, but like I still feel like, yeah, I hope people would realize, you know, some things that need to change. Not just about that. I'm talking about also like drug smoking, everything that it's not like, you know, even alcohol. It's legal. Same with smoking, but it's not, you know.
Yeah, it's
the
not very
thing.
healthy. I get that.
Yeah,
But like I would
so-
say, at some point, like when it comes to this, to veganism and animals, I think that we need to reach a critical, because right now there's like what 2 or 3% of people are vegan. So 2 or
Yeah.
3% of people choose to stop oppressing animals. And probably we need that percentage to go higher so that at some point we can make regulations about it and
Yeah,
rules
to
about
actually make
Yeah.
a difference
So,
in
so
anything.
in that sense, you could be part of this change. You could make this difference by being part of this other percentage where we don't oppress animals.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would have no problem because I'm not that dependent on that food.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, you're asking a lot because we are as people, you know, you're trying to get only what you want. And many people, like, you know, dairy and products and meat products is like super. I don't know how to explain it, but you know.
Yeah, it's ingrained in society, right?
Yeah,
We-
people enjoy that type of food, so it's hard to, like, there are not many vegan places or vegan products in shops as well. Like,
Do you
when
live here?
No, I live in Croatia, and in Croatia there's none mostly. So
I mean, I would argue
Yeah.
probably there is, because that's the thing. When we think about vegan products, we think like vegan cheeses or vegan mock meats.
yeah,
But like rice, beans, lentils, tofu, these are the cheapest things in the supermarkets. Vegetables, and they're widely available. And
yeah, I agree. I mean, I mostly live from like vegetables and like fruits, and which is exactly. I'm not dependent on except the cheese.
yeah.
But like I said, I feel like it's just too into every culture, you know, for like even restaurants, even when you go to like somebody's house, they will often offer you something like that.
Yeah, I
So,
can
yeah.
understand that. But do you want to stop? Like, you said you do want to, and it's not difficult. But are you going to stop?
I mean, am I gonna stop
Yeah.
eating? Like, first of all, I have a reservation at 6 for that famous fondue cheese somewhere around here. You know, like I came as a tourist, so you gotta do that.
I mean, you
But
can
yeah,
do that.
no, you can do it without
Yeah,
it exactly.
yeah.
But like, I didn't have any, like I said, strong opinion. Like I can stop; it's not a
Yeah.
problem. I'm not dependent on it. I'm not addicted to it. So it's not, like I said, it's just cultural thing. You know, you came and like Netherlands, they told us you need to try like that weed stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried it. It was nothing happened. So that is 10 euros down the
Yeah.
drain. And then yeah, cheese and that waffles. I don't know how do you call them. Amazing. That was good. That
But
was
I understand what you mean. But do you think like, because all of this is cultural, right? And you say that if you
Yeah.
travel, you need to try the culture. But do you think that should you try the culture in situations when the culture exploits or slaughters innocent
No,
beings?
exactly. I agree with you. I think that should stop, but like I said, it's pretty hard to.
I mean, in Amsterdam,
with,
the vegan restaurants are absolutely amazing. I think you
okay,
heard
do
me
you
say
have
that.
the list?
Oh, I wish I had the map. I usually have a
Okay.
map on me. I don't have a
That's
map
fine.
on me
That's
today.
okay.
But I
That's
cannot.
okay.
I can tell you, vegan sushi bar is one really
Okay,
good
that's
one.
good.
Yeah.
Nice. Which one?
I think there's 2 in Amsterdam.
Okay.
If you search vegan sushi bar, that's
Okay,
exactly how
that's
it's called.
one.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
nice.
it's really. I mean, no, it's the same restaurant but with two.
Yeah, two locations.
Two locations, yeah. and it's absolutely. I don't like sushi, but I like that one. So
Okay. Yeah, I
it's,
like
it's,
sushi, but yeah.
they use black rice, which is really nice
Nice.
also. So it's
Okay.
a bit healthier, and
Okay,
it's
nice.
also nice. Yeah.
Okay, I will try that.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
How many more animals? I'll ask you the same question. How many more animals have to be exploited before you change?
Before I change?
Yeah.
Well, for me, none. Maybe today, because I have a reservation.
I
at
understand that.
place.
That's okay. I understand that. It's not the you
So it
can't.
depends how many do you get from that cheese I'm gonna eat. But yeah, like I said, I have no problem with going vegan. Maybe I will. I did go vegetarian like in the past a year, not that long ago. So vegan is not that difficult to do either.
Yeah, especially if
So-
you're like, if you do it for the animals, because it's like if you do it if you're vegetarian for the animals, it's kind of like not really you're not doing anything right
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're like
Yeah.
midway. You're like you're still exploiting and slaughtering animals.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
so
I
it's-
agree.
Like if you do it for the health, it's a different thing. But even then, or for the environment, it's a different thing. But even then, it's still better for the
Yeah,
environment.
okay. For the health, I would probably do it. I have
Yeah.
to say. Yeah.
But you mean be vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for health reasons, I do many things for health reasons, you know, especially
Yeah.
because I see the things people get from some, you know, you
Yeah.
see the hospital. So, yeah.
I mean, saturated fat and
Yeah.
high cholesterol foods are
Exactly. And diabetes is
yeah.
a normal thing right now,
Yeah.
which shouldn't be normal. And I feel like many people don't know the consequences of diabetes. It's just like, okay, I will take a pill and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
It's not, no.
Yeah. So.
But the diet high in fiber and low in saturated fat or cholesterol
Yeah,
is
okay,
good both for
I-
the heart. It's both
yeah.
protective for the heart and for diabetes.
I
so-
mean, I do have that type of diet, not counting
Yeah.
animals right now at
Yeah.
all. But I feel like that should be the diet
yeah,
because our health system is complete, like it's, and people don't care. So yeah, it's just you come to the hospital when when you're really sick, not before, and you don't care before. So I think that's the biggest problem. So I'm talking about, you know, people that you cannot explain to them that like you need to change your lifestyle because I cannot help you with like one pill or something.
yeah,
So, and that concern I would agree. So
yeah.
that
And
should be
I completely understand that. My dad smokes. He eats a lot of high saturated fat, high
yeah,
cholesterol, and
you know,
he's like, and he takes cholesterol pills, which is fucked up. And he takes like 10 types of pills. So I get it. It's some people
yeah,
just don't listen. They
Some
just,
people exactly they don't listen, and most people don't listen. So I'm not saying that. In that concern, now I'm talking as you know, my profession. Like
Yeah.
when you see every patient come with that, it's like, you know, it should be different because our healthcare should. Of course I cannot say like, okay, it is up to you if you're gonna stop smoking, eating that type of things, but it's also, I don't know how the health work, how everything works here, but I personally pay, you know, for healthcare. So if something happens to me, it's free for me.
Yeah.
But I never had. Of course, I'm young and everything, but it is also a thing. You pay for people that decide to smoke for 50 years, decide to live like they do for 50 years, and I pay for that, and I never use the, you know, the hospitals per se for, you know, some things that people. I mean, you see.
Yeah.
I'm paying for their lifestyle, okay? So I choose to be healthy and not to go there, but I'm paying for them to have the opportunity to go there and be free.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's
It's wrong.
pretty, yeah, it is. I mean, I don't agree with America either. So, you know, I wouldn't go work there just because somebody dying on a street because they have no money to call an ER is fucked up, okay? But again, I do understand where it comes from because, well, I'm paying for people that are doing drugs, you know?
Yeah.
And personally, maybe I would do it as well, but I'm thinking, you know, a bigger picture, so
Yeah,
I
and
understand.
and it's the same. It's fucked up, and it's the same also with animal products because you can abstain from doing it, but farmers still receive subsidies from the
Yeah,
government.
but they get the
So-
money, so
yeah.
they don't care. Maybe they don't eat it either, but like you get the money, so it is what it is, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Many jobs are like you don't like it, but you're doing it for the money.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's
exactly.
not, I wouldn't even say it's up to them. It's just like you do what you need to do to survive. So I agree, like we should stop, but I agree with many things that should stop, and they're not gonna. Fortunately, we're just going pretty.
Do you think it's a moral obligation for us to stop consuming animal products?
I feel like it is, but I don't think many people would agree with my opinion. So you know.
I mean, I get it. I believe
yeah,
so
I
too.
don't believe many people agree with you either. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who agree and some people who don't agree, and hence
Yeah.
why when I find people like you who are open-minded and agree with it, hence why I think it's all the more important that we change, that we do
Yeah,
it, so that we
exactly. Yeah,
eventually
I have no
get to make.
problem with. I will need to go.
Okay,
though.
I'll
So-
give you a
but
card. Can I give you a
thank
card?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I appreciate you being so open-minded towards this. Let me give you a nicer one. This one, I think it's nicer.
Thank you.
You have all the resources there. Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist and your recipes in case you need it.
Okay, nice.
You have my social media there, and I don't know.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. What was your name again?
Nika.
Mika. Nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Hey, thank you. And go vegan, okay? Appreciate it. She was. She was nice. I like being morally superior. Is this what we're doing now? Is it the whole moral superiority thing happening? It's so funny when people claim that we're morally superior when what we want, what we acknowledge is the fact that animals have the same moral value as we. Well, not the same, but like they have enough moral value that we are not superior to them to exploit them, and yet somehow people claim moral superiority to everybody else. That's so ridiculous, huh? Ridiculous, ridiculous. There's always somebody from the museum who walks by to see what I'm doing. But if they see I'm live, they never come by to talk to me. If I'm not live, if I'm with the camera, they always start saying, what are you doing here? Why are you? Hey, you want to try a
social experiment?
Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah, sure.
Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Yeah, sure.
Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? Nice, I appreciate it. What's your name?
Kevin,
Kiba, where are you from?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh, that's nice, nice. Okay, I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says, animal abuse should be legal. Do you agree?
No,
Can I ask why not?
because abuse is generally bad. I don't eat meat.
Okay.
Haven't for 50 years.
Okay, so is that why you don't, so you don't, wait, you don't eat meat?
Never.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yes.
Can I ask why?
I don't like the taste of it, and I don't think it's a moral thing to do.
Yeah, because it's immoral to slaughter these animals for,
Yes.
because it's optional to us, right?
Yes.
Do you consume any dairy products?
Yes.
Are you aware that there's abuse happening also in dairy products, behind dairy products?
Not where I live, there isn't, or there's a limited amount of it.
Like, how much do you know about the dairy industry?
No reasonable amount.
Can you walk me through it? Why do cows produce milk?
Because to feed their young who have been taken off them.
Yeah, who have been taken off them. Yeah, you already
Yes.
know. Wouldn't you say that's already abusive to take their younglings?
I think there's always compromises that you need to make.
But this is a compromise that we choose to make for somebody who didn't, right? We choose to make it because it benefits us. There's no compromise there. It's just
No, I think that you have a sliding scale of rights and obligations, and animals do not have the same rights as humans.
yeah. But should
but
they
they're-
have the
they're-
right to body autonomy?
Not necessarily, no.
Do you don't believe that they should?
No, of course not.
Why not?
Well, let me give you an example. In our country, there were a number of pests that were introduced perhaps 100 years ago that had taken over the landscape and damaged the animals that should live there. As a consequence of that, we trap and kill rats, mice, possums. We have to deal with hedgehogs. Hares and rabbits are significant problems. I kill those things because if I don't, they kill the birds
Yeah.
which should be living there.
Because they multiply and they do bad things, right?
Yes, that's right.
Would you say the human species does the same?
Yes.
So why is it that as a human being we have more moral value to not be killed or exploited or slaughtered than them?
I think,
Especially given since we introduced
I
these
think
problems in the
that
first
is
place.
a fundamental question, and if we don't agree on that, we probably shouldn't be talking.
Yeah. What is
Okay,
it?
excuse me, I
Well,
need
what
to
is
go.
the what is the fundamental thing that we don't agree on?
That humans have more rights than animals do.
Well, I agree, right? Like we have more rights, but I'm talking about the fundamental right to body autonomy and to life. I would say, and to
No,
pursue the freedom.
rights are always relative. There's no absolutes in real life.
Okay, but it's weird to me that you say you oppose the idea and you say it's cruel or immoral to exploit animals or to slaughter them for something that is optional to you, which is meat, but you find it okay to exploit or slaughter animals for something that is optional to you, which is dairy products. Because both are in
That's
exactly
what I
the same
said.
situation.
No, they're not exactly the same.
They both exploit and slaughter
I need to go.
animals. You guys want to try it? Yeah. I just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit.
Yeah, we're on mushrooms.
You're on mushrooms right now. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna ask you. Are you okay being live on YouTube? You can be off. You can be off the camera if you want. I just started.
I'll be off the camera.
Okay, okay. How do you feel about? Do you know what oppression is?
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Do you think is oppression moral or immoral?
Do you know what it means?
So you can say if you don't. I can explain.
It's like women's places in the home.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So oppression means cruel or unjust
no, obviously,
treatment.
who would
Yeah.
think that was nice?
No, so it's not okay, right?
Can you please?
Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No, even if the powerful get benefit from it.
No.
No, okay. And even if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed.
I don't know.
It's just too deep.
You
for
don't
you,
know.
isn't it? It's too deep.
That's why I asked these questions because it's the.
They're oppressed. But
Yeah.
if you don't know you're something, then
Does
you're
that
not.
make
then
does that
it's
make
normal.
oppression right?
It makes it the norm for you.
No, it doesn't make it right.
It makes it the norm. I agree. It makes it the norm. But does it make
You're
oppression?
like Harry Potter.
Does it make oppression okay? It doesn't.
No, of course not.
Okay, okay. And then how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
Yeah, but then I eat them, so I can't
Yeah.
really.
But we can stop. You can stop eating them
Yeah, I thought about that.
because they're oppressed, right? Are they
Yeah.
not? Is it not cruel or unjust?
They're compressed in a burger, bit of bread either side,
Yeah.
bit of burger sauce.
We'll go.
Okay. Okay. Just don't oppress animals, okay? They all deserve to live. They were on mushrooms. It's okay. Maybe at some point they'll start thinking about. Yeah. What did you guys think about the? She's tripping on mushrooms. Yeah. You look like Harry Potter. I look like Harry Potter, really? I mean, I'll take that as a compliment. I thought I'd look kind of like Steve Jobs more than anything, but Harry Potter, sure, why not? What do you guys think about that conversation with the guy from New Zealand? I like, that's so weird. He brought up all these things and. What would you have done differently? He was a goof. He ran away. Yeah. That's what it is, huh? There's always a little bit of a justification there. There's always something like, oh no, I don't participate in that. No. We had quite some conversations. People, one person after the other. 70 people watching. Hello, everybody who's watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It means something to me, nothing more than anything else. And please like it.
You're doing a social experiment.
Yeah, you want to try it?
Oh, yes.
Are you okay being live on YouTube?
No, not on the camera.
Okay, not on the camera. That's fine. Okay, I'll turn this around. You're not on camera right now. And it says animal abuse should be legal. What do you think?
Mistreating animals? No.
Abusing them, yeah.
No.
No.
Should not be legal.
Why not?
Because I love the dog and I love all the animals.
So what if you don't love them? Would that make abuse okay?
No.
No. Like if you're indifferent to them.
We are animals too, huh?
I appreciate that. Okay, so it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs.
Sure.
What about
It
cows,
use cows also.
chickens, pigs?
I use no milk. I use no dairy. I use no meat.
Are you vegan?
I try to be vegan. It's not always easy because sometimes there's cheese and a little bit of custard in it or cream, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my only sin.
But do you live here in the Netherlands?
Yes,
Yeah,
in
so
Amsterdam.
you have so many options now, like for cream, for cheese,
Oh,
all
yes,
this.
I
Yeah.
know.
So why? So
But sometimes I'm a bit lazy, you know.
You're a
Then
bit
it's
lazy.
easier, and
But
it's a habit.
But do you think that when you
Wrong
do that,
habit.
you're still participating in abuse towards animals?
When I do that, I do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
I know.
isn't that a bit of contradiction from your moral values?
Of course, I'm a little bit ashamed.
I
But
appreciate you
still-
for being.
But
yeah.
but still, no, you make faults. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dog is also vegetarian.
I appreciate
But
that. That's lovely.
once a week, I give her the pens. You know the stomach things from the animal. Once a week, I give her that.
Does she need that?
Yeah, I think so. But it's good for her stomach to clean it.
Yeah, but if she doesn't, then what you're doing is you're taking the life of some other animal and
No.
prioritizing your animal's life.
But yeah, then I can say the stuff is already there. Otherwise, they throw it away.
Well,
It's not for human consumption.
but it still creates
But
a
I know,
demand, right?
I know.
It's still,
I'm a
it's a-
person from this world, you know,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
this society.
Yeah.
I only use. I have no car. I have no motor. I have nothing.
I mean, let me just say right
But-
here.
but
I think
I
you're
try
doing.
to-
I think you're doing great.
But yes, okay. I
think you're doing
understand.
great. I think you're doing it. There's no
But-
but there. It's just that if you were in the shoes of the one animal, one time per year when you buy cheese, one animal, do you think it matters to them that you don't consume at all, or
Yeah.
do you think it matters to them that you consume that one time?
No,
when
I
since-
think I shouldn't consume it at all.
Yeah.
Hey, you gave me a right impulse. And are you a vegetarian?
I'm a vegan. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a vegan.
vegetarian.
Same reason.
And what is it just to make people more aware of it?
More aware
Or
of it and to
are
try
you
to
making
change
a
them.
documentary?
No. I'm just trying to get people more aware of it and to try to get people to change to stop exploiting animals because I don't necessarily like I like animals nowadays, especially dogs. They're so cute.
It's so sweet.
But for me, it's more of a justice thing. I don't think it's fair to do this to them.
No,
and-
I don't think so too. But everything, oh man, everything. I was watching television about Canada, and there was a Dutch scientist, a nice woman, who was seeking that permafrost is going away.
Yeah.
And that we, not now yet, but we will have that troubles also. But then I see the people who live there, the old Eskimos, you don't say the word anymore, but these Indians were destroyed. Now these people are first destroyed. We come late.
Yeah.
And we make the most pollution. So I don't know. And then I saw another program
messed
from America where the Christians are so, they have to use the oil, they have to go on, it's God given. So yeah, I know. I'm glad sometimes I'm old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. Sometimes I speak for women's rights. Sometimes I should speak for
Yeah.
LGBTQ rights. But
And what are you going to do with this? Are you making a
it's
program?
it's
of
live
it?
right now. There's people watching right now already. There's like 60 people watching.
Okay, but
And,
I'm not in it.
No, you're not in it. You're not there in the view. No, don't worry
I'm a
about it.
movie
You're not.
star.
It's okay. You weren't in the view anyway.
I'm a really movie star. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking to me. I mean, how many more animals would you want to be oppressed for you before you never oppress an animal again?
No, I can't say that. It's too abstract.
Abstract.
I'm just it's a habit. People are. I am as a human being so stuck to habits.
But the habits can change, right? We
I
can
know.
change the habit.
Of
We
course.
don't have to be like. I agree. For most people, it's a habit. That's a reality.
Yeah,
but-
that's the problem. I do my best. I am a member of a shop, biodynamic shop. You know, I'm a member, so I have to do there my shoppings. And okay, sometimes I go to the Albertine. So
But regardless where you buy your animal product, they all come from animal exploitation.
what Albertine's?
All products, regardless of animal product, where you buy them from a farm, from a biological store, or from Albertine, they all exploit animals, all of them.
Yeah, okay. But they do the less. They try to support the the people who want to do it differently. So you feel that
Yeah,
support.
but they still like for
Yeah, but I
like,
have to buy my food somewhere.
but you don't have to buy animal products.
No, 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 no.
No, yeah.
No, no, no. I don't have to.
Yeah.
No, no cheese anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No.
I appreciate you talking to
Yeah.
me. It's what's your name?
Yoko.
I'm Chip. Nice
Hello,
to meet
Chip.
you, Yoko.
And where you from, Chip?
I'm from Romania originally, but I also live in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Um,
And what is the you try to make the people more aware, but is there something going on? Do you
no, I'm just
only
on my
this?
own. I want people to be vegan. I want no more animals to be exploited for us.
There was such a nice program a long time ago. It's called Plug Shot. You know the guy from Plug
No.
Shot? Oh, that was so nice. He also goes onto the street and then he says to people, you know what? There is someone over there who is molesting animals. And he's doing it with all kinds of, but he has animals there. And then the people get so angry and then he asks, and do you eat meat? Yes. At first they ask, if do you eat meat? Yes.
I might try that.
I
That's a
like
good
to do
one.
it. And then he asks, now you know there is some guy and he abuses animals, and they get they should hang up that. So things like that, you know.
I
That's
mean,
nice,
like,
huh?
I think he saw the sign on the other sign that it says about animal abuse. I get it, yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. He always makes such a good programs about politics and our habits, and so that's nice. Plug Shot, it's called. I
Plug
don't
Shot.
know how he, but you should. Now it's not on television, but on the Shuffle Time.
Yeah, I
it's
probably
on
can find it
television.
online.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube too.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, now good luck.
Can I give you a card?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you vegan recipes every day. If that's something that you need, it's all free.
Okay, but I don't want to have emails every day because that's also not good for the environment. All we
That's
do.
okay. That's okay.
Okay, but I will see. I will.
But you know, but if you care about the environment, the footprint of somebody who's vegan compared to somebody who's vegetarian
I
is
believe
half.
you. Is half?
Half.
Okay. I have friends who are strictly vegan,
Yeah.
and yeah, okay. I'm now today I'm gonna buy organic yogurt and organic milk. So I want to make the overnight oats, which
But
totally.
yogurt and milk, they still.
They are on plant-based.
Ah, plant-based.
Plant-based.
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry,
take
yeah.
plant-based.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
I take soya milk and plant-based.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like yogurt. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have
love
a nice
it.
day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. This person wants to change, and she's like, the young people, they have a problem with changing, and this person actively wants to change. She said she doesn't want to eat cheese anymore, and people are, what the hell, man? What kind of world we live in, huh? Very lovely woman. Very lovely woman. It's actually kind of nice now in the sun. Oh. I like what she said though. She goes around to people. That guy. She said that guy goes around to people and says that, oh, there's this person who abuses animals. Oh, they do the horrific thing. They hang out by the neck or something. And like, what would you say to this person who abuses animals? I mean, it's very similar to kind of to what we do right now. And then you say, okay, well, do you ask, do you eat meat or animal products? And they're like, yeah. So, yeah. Any contradiction there? I don't know. It was a nice conversation. I enjoyed speaking to her. You want to try a social experiment? Hello everybody who tuned in. Thank you for being here. We are doing a social experiment. If you're new here, we're sitting in Amsterdam. We're sitting in front of here. We're holding a sign that says we're doing a social experiment and to asking people to come and talk to me. And when they come, we're doing a little bit of a social experiment. And if you don't know what a social experiment is, I can probably think you might know what it is about based on the name of my channel. And if you don't, that's okay. Please stick around, watch it, enjoy it. Interact in the chat if you have some issues or some things. And please subscribe and like this video if you like it. we are going to try and find somebody to talk to. Hey, you can even place bets. Do you think that the next person will be... Hey, you want to try a social experiment? Okay. No problem. Have a good one. Do you think that the next person is going to be cognitively dissonant or not? Do you think they're going to be open to the idea or not? Let's see. So yeah, you guys want to try a social experiment? I just ask you some questions, that's it. Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Oh yeah, no problem.
What's your name?
Thomas.
Tomas. Okay, Tomas. What do you think about animal abuse?
Ah, it's a big question. I think that animal abuse is present in today in our world.
Are you for it or against it?
I don't know so much about this argument, but for the abuse, I'm negative.
Yeah, so you're against it.
I am against the abuse of animals.
What would
for
you
sure.
What would you say abuse is? How would you define abuse?
Abuse when an animal is over treated and pushed to the limit. You know.
I would say it's physical or emotional harm. That means when you're hitting them, when you're, I don't know.
I think both.
Both, yeah.
It's both.
Yeah, so
Yes.
both physical and emotional, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that behind animal products there is abuse?
In which sense?
In the sense that do you think animals are abused in the making of animal products like cheese, like eggs, like meat?
Probably yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think so.
Do you consume any animal products? I'm not judging right now.
Yeah. I'm consuming animal products in a medium way. And I'm not exceeded to use animal. I also eat vegetables and something like this.
Do you think you can be against animal abuse while at the same time you support it?
No, I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
If you are against, you are
Yeah,
not pro.
exactly. So, do you see the contradiction in your values then in that sense? Because you say you're against it, but you support it when you buy animal products.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So, do you see the contradiction in your values? Because when you buy animal products,
Yeah.
you're supporting the system that exploits and slaughters animals, right? That abuses them.
Not all the animals are abused. You know.
Okay.
I know some farmers, like in Italy or not, that the animals are not abused. And
Are they not killed?
They are killed. Yes.
Is that not abusive?
But when they are old, you know, it's the circle of life.
Yeah.
So
Is that okay? Do you have a grandfather?
No.
A father?
No, neither.
No,
either.
not a mother. Like, do you have an older person
I
in
don't-
your
I-
life?
No, I don't have my parents.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. But
No
like, do you have any like older people in your life, or it doesn't really matter? Like, would you say that somebody, just because somebody's
Friends,
old,
friends.
yeah? Do you think that an older friend? Do you think if you consider them old, would it be okay for you to take their life for something that it's optional
But
to you?
in today we have also euthanasias for people. I'm against euthanasia, but it's illegal in so much
Yeah,
country.
but they decide if they want
They
to do that,
decide,
right?
yes,
Not
you know.
somebody else decides for them, right?
I know.
Because for
but,
the animals, do you think the animals decide that they want to die, or the farmer decides for them?
the animals is difficult because they don't speak. So I don't know.
But they don't want to die, right?
I don't know.
Have you seen footage from slaughterhouses?
The old one, I don't know if they want to die or not.
I think if
so-
you have a knife and you run towards an animal and you hurt them, do you think they will stay and say, yes, cut me open, or will they say, stop?
I don't know if they are suffering. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, if they're suffering is a different case, right? Like if you're suffering, it's like a mercy kill. But the animals in animal.
Yeah, it's like in the Wild West. You
Yeah,
know, when
yeah.
a horse is
Yeah, but-
suffering, you kill.
But the
you kill
animals
it.
within on farms, or they're not animals who are suffering, right? They're animals who are the farmer takes care of them, and the minute that he says they have to die, they have to die. And most of the times that is at less than half their lifespan. I don't know if you know anything about how at what age do animals get killed.
I'm not sure, but they are very little.
Let me show you just to. So this is a graph. So pigs get killed at 6 months.
They are very little.
Yeah, bulls get killed
Like baby, like
yeah,
human.
all animals get killed as babies. The only animals that don't get killed as babies is dairy cows
Why?
and egg-laying hens.
Why this difference?
Because
years.
they exploit them first. Dairy cows are exploited. They
Oh,
get their
yeah.
milk
Mhm.
up until they can no longer get good enough milk, or they can no longer impregnate them with yeast, and then they kill them. And the same with egg-laying chickens. They take their
okay.
eggs up until they no longer lay eggs daily or something, and then they kill them.
Oh, okay.
So
understand.
these are subject to exploitation and then slaughter.
Mhm.
But do you think any of this is fair towards them?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not fair.
No.
Do you, as a person, want to live a world where you are fair towards everybody?
Unfair?
Yeah. Do you want to be
No.
fair towards everybody?
Yes, I
Yeah.
want to be fair with everybody.
And if you think that this isn't fair, what we do to animals, don't you think then you should stop consuming animal products?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything holding you back from stopping right now?
I can try.
You can try.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. Do you understand why I'm sitting here and talking to you about this?
Yeah, I think so because with this conversation,
Yeah.
I learn something new that I didn't know before. So
Yeah, just to like this is the kind of stuff that animals go
Yeah,
through. It is
I
pretty
know.
awful, right?
Yeah.
And this is standard practice, right? For cheese, this is the kind of stuff that happens to pigs. This is the kind of stuff that happens to cows. Do you think any of these animals want to be in these situations?
No, I don't think so.
No, and we can. It applies also to clothing, right? Leather, all of it. It's not just food. And
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
think we can do without all of this,
I think yes.
right?
I think so.
Do you know what a vegan is?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Do you ever see yourself as being vegan?
Allora, I can try to become.
Okay.
So I was also talk with her days before talking about this, and it will be today. It will be or tomorrow a nice day to try to become.
I appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you some resources because it's my last card. So it sounds to me like you need Challenge 22.
Yeah.
They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you vegan recipes every day. All of it is free.
Oh.
And you can try it for 22 days.
Yeah.
And if you want my advice, I would say if you do try it for 22 days and afterwards you don't feel the need to buy any animal products, then don't. Just continue. Because being vegan is not a diet. It's an idea that animals deserve to live
Continue
and
to
not be
live.
exploited. Yeah, we don't need to exploit and slaughter them, so therefore we shouldn't do it. That's all it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
I
So,
appreciate it.
so sounds like that's what you need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been
Thomas was, right?
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. If I ask you how many more animals do you want to die for you or to be exploited for you?
None.
None. Then you have to go vegan, okay?
Okay.
I appreciate
will
it.
try it.
Okay.
It's
What's your
been-
name?
It's been a pleasure.
Jade. Okay, nice to meet you, Jade. Please look into it. And if there's a nice video that you can watch, is if you go on this website, 3 Movies, type in this code. This is a code that I made, or if you scan this directly, you have a thing called the most important speech you'll ever hear. Not sure if it's in Italian, but if you switch it to English, it's definitely there. It's a really nice speech that explains exactly what I mean, because a lot of people don't know about eggs, about what happens in all these practices, and once you learn about it, maybe you don't want to be part of
You
it.
change your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this your channel, right?
My channel is Vegan Power Lab. You have it here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same.
Good job.
Have a good one. If there's no sun, it's cold. And the sun is in the clouds. Yeah, I mean, I think he understood it, and he said he wants to try it, which is good. He was surprisingly open. I had a pretty good feeling about him. I mean, I don't think they're gonna change. I don't know if they're gonna be vegan. I hope so, but I did see that some change in there. And the folder from Alexandra is really useful. I'm trying to use it more and more. Okay, hello people who are watching. If you are new here, thank you for watching. We're doing a social experiment where we're asking people on the street questions and trying to get them to think. And yeah, trying to change minds, make the world better. Guys want to try a social experiment? Stick around to see what the social experiment is, and if you like it, like the video, subscribe please if you're not subscribed. Doesn't really mean anything, those numbers. It just means something to me more than anything, because I don't know, we're weird people, you know. We look at numbers and we say, oh, numbers matter or something. I don't know if they do, but I appreciate it if you do. If you do subscribe, that is. And yeah. Bye, Ulf. I'm happy you were here, Ulf. Thank you for being here. And yeah, if you want a little community here, we also have a little community here on this channel where we know each other. We obviously move from channels to channels. We discuss with each other. We talk about all sorts of issues and stuff, and we appreciate each other. We respect each other. So if you want to be part of this nice community, yeah, all the more reasons to subscribe, baby. Let's see. Let's get a couple more conversations in. Hi, you want to try it? Yeah. Are you okay being live on YouTube? Yeah. Okay. Where you guys from?
South Africa.
South Africa. Okay. Okay. How do you feel about oppression?
Oppression.
Oppression, yeah.
I don't know, it's uncomfortable. It's not a nice thing to go through.
Okay. Do you so oppression means cruel or unjust treatment? Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
No. Even if the powerful get benefit from it?
No.
Okay. And even if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
No, I think it's like I don't know the right way to like really explain it, but like it's still wrong.
It's still
Like-
wrong, exactly,
like,
yeah.
It's, like if you had to do something like a minor crime, for example, and
Yeah.
you don't get caught, it's still wrong what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I sometimes give the example of, let's say, if a woman is in a cab and she's passed out because she's drunk or whatever, it doesn't make it right if the driver would fondle her, even if she doesn't
Exactly.
realize it, right?
Yeah.
It's the same idea. Okay. And do you think that if the powerful would say that they need it, even if they're presented with overwhelming evidence that they do not need it, would you think that them claiming that they need it and refusing to accept the evidence makes the oppression right?
No.
No, okay. So then, how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us? Do you think we're oppressing them?
I think so to an extent, but that was actually what I was thinking. Like if a dog's being treated incorrectly, or just like in animal abuse in general, like other people may not know you're abusing your animal, but it's still wrong. It's like abuse behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Whether it's being made aware of or not, it's still wrong.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah. And do you think that if we buy animal products, do you think that we're supporting the abuse of animals?
Yeah, I think if it's not being like ethically sourced and things like that, like obviously being South African, the first thing I think of is the rhinos, with their horn being taken off for the what's it called?
Ivory.
The ivory. things
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that's wrong?
Yes. all
Why
the
is that
animal-
wrong?
Because the rhinos are now going extinct in South Africa. It was a really big issue quite a couple of years back, but I think it's just been such an ongoing issue that people have now like stopped looking at it.
Or they're
it's-
desensitized to it.
Yeah, like they've become desensitized, so it's not like as big of a deal for them anymore. And like I think that happens with a lot of wrong that happens in society. Just like any political issues.
Yeah, we become apathetic
Yeah,
towards it.
yeah.
But do you think that is it bad to do this to rhinos because they're extinct, or what if they weren't extinct? Would it still be bad to do that to them?
Yeah, because it harms them and they actually die because they're not their rhinos. their horns aren't being taken off like correctly. I don't know if
Yeah.
there is a correct way, but
Yeah, they've actually started removing them in like a correct way because then they don't get poached for their
Yeah.
horns,
they,
and then
they
get
don't
to
die
survive.
from it. So,
But
yeah.
it's wrong because we don't need to do any of it, right? Because we choose to do it. Would you say that it's the same when we consume animal products, whether it regards to food or clothing, like wearing leather or stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm not vegan or vegetarian. Like I still do eat meat.
But do you
Yeah,
think
I
there's a
don't know.
contradiction there? Because when you
Yeah, I
eat
do
meat
feel
and
like
animal,
it's a
there's an animal being
contradiction,
abused,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So is there anything holding you back from never abusing an animal?
I feel bad. Like my moral compass would be like. But I don't know. I remember talking to my mom the one time about like wanting to go like vegetarian at least because sometimes when I'm eating meat and then like I realize like okay I'm actually eating something that was like alive and I start to feel like I want to throw it up. It sounds so stupid, but then there's times where I'm like I'm not actually thinking about it and then I'm like I don't notice it as a problem. It doesn't make me feel sick. Like I think this is normal. Like it's become normal in society.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And just because it's normal, it doesn't make it right? Like I think there were throughout our history, we know that women, for example, haven't had rights for thousands of years. It was normal.
Yeah.
It didn't mean it was right to do so,
Yeah.
right? That's an example that I like to give. Okay, so do you mentioned vegetarians, and do you know what happens in the dairy industry, for example?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't. I'm
So-
not very
so-
educated.
That's
when
okay.
it
That's
comes to
okay.
that.
I also had to learn
Yeah.
about it. It's no issue there. Why do you think cows produce milk?
I don't know. All I know is milk's like good for your bones, but I suppose you can get calcium elsewhere and stuff,
Yeah.
and magnesium.
So I personally used to think for a long time that cows just eat grass and they produce milk. That's their biological function. That's
Yeah.
how they do it. But they're mammals. They're just like you and me.
Yeah.
They produce milk when they're pregnant. So what farmers do is they don't wait to get pregnant whenever they want to,
They
but rather
breed.
they forcefully
Yeah.
impregnate them. Like the procedures goes like somebody literally holds puts their whole hand in their anus to hold
Like
to
induce.
take their cervix, to hold their
Yeah.
cervix, and then they inject bull semen in their vagina. Somebody else has to jerk off a bull. You can find
Yeah.
all this as tutorials on YouTube, which
Yeah.
is even more insane that there are tutorials how to do this. And after 9 months, when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
Get slaughtered.
If they're male, they get slaughtered, indeed, because
Yeah.
they don't produce any milk.
Yeah,
But the first
females,
thing is they get separated from their mother from day one because they would drink their mother's milk, and we say, no, that's our milk, that's not
Yeah.
yours, which is kind of fucked up from the
Yeah.
beginning. And yeah, if they're female, year over year, forceful impregnation, just like their mothers, for 6 to 8 years, when the farmers can no longer impregnate them with ease, and then they go to a slaughterhouse, and they can
Yeah.
live up to 25 years, so they don't live even half their life.
Yeah, it's hectic.
It's
I
fucked
think
up,
it's
right?
also like, I don't know, the first thing I thought of now was like the whole people who drink like other women's breast milk. I don't know, like I always thought that was kind of weird, but I guess it's also
It's
if
the
those
same.
women are selling it, like they're giving consent to do it. So
Yeah, but do you think a cow consents?
yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Like I feel like with human breast milk, like I still think it's kind of gross, but at least they're consenting to giving their breast milk, I suppose. So yeah.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I sit on the street and I sit with a sign that says human breast milk, and some people like I put some oat milk in a can, and some
Yeah.
people come and try it because they're like, oh, human breast milk, whatever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy for people to
Yeah.
placebo effect. I think like
Yeah.
like if you say there's alcohol in this and there's none, then people usually tend to think they are getting drunk.
But
things
but,
like that.
but that's the thing about it, right? There is consent, whereas with animals there isn't. So do you think what I told you about the dairy industry, within the meat is obviously the same thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing new happening there. Do you think that you would want to continue being part of this? Would you want to continue supporting this?
No, I don't know actually. I don't drink milk already, like because I used to have eczema when I was little, so it triggers the eczema a lot. So like coffee, tea, all that stuff, I don't drink milk.
Yeah, same.
But I don't know. There's other products that do have milk that I do drink or eat at least,
like cheese
cake
or
cheese.
cake.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
But do you feel like any? Because I understand like there's probably a habit reason, right? For most people, for most of us, it's the idea that we're born into this. We kind of know we've been
Yeah.
doing this for a long time, and it's kind of like I don't want to change, or it's difficult to change. But do you think
Yeah.
any of these justifications are fair towards the animals?
No, I don't think so.
No. And should we be fair towards animals?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think people kind of like create a I don't think they like consciously realize it, but I think they make like a subconscious divide between like a pet versus like a cow or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But is there a difference between them?
No.
From their perspective,
Yeah.
it's their life, huh?
Mm.
Their body, their life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you know at what age, for example, animals are killed?
I feel like it depends what kind of meat you're eating.
Yeah. So this is the general age, the average age. For example, pigs are killed at 6 months and they can live 20 years. Bulls are killed at a year to a year and a half. Calves are killed between 4 and 5 months. These are the male calves that are kept for a while. They're kept for like 6 months. Dairy cows are exploited and then killed after like 5 years. Egg-laying chickens are killed about a year afterwards. So none of them even live half their life. Most of
We
them are
actually
killed as
had
babies.
Were you still at Kira when we did the biology essay on male chicks being cold?
I think so.
Yeah, when we were in school, we had a biology essay where we had to fight either for or against male chicks being cold.
Yeah.
I can't remember which stance I took, but they had like a bunch of different like examples and sources for us to choose from. Like some sources were like saying yes, they should be cold for like whatever reason, like they don't have any benefits for us as
Honestly,
humans.
when I was in school, I just picked the
some of
stance
them
that had more information that I could find
Yeah.
to use.
It was like
Because they
bio, it
gave
was,
you
like,
stuff to
literally
use,
even.
and I was like, well, if this has more information that I can use, so I'm just going to do with that, even if I don't agree with it.
But it was always like pretty even. Like you'll get like one source where the one paragraph is for it, but then the other paragraph is against it. So it was like, it was a bit challenging to choose. But if you just had to use your own information.
Yeah.
So whichever information you had, everyone just went with that. I don't think people actually sat down and thought about it for themselves. It was just to get the mark done or whatever.
And I think you touched upon it really well, where you said the minute they're no longer useful, like that's a common practice in animal agriculture.
Yeah.
The minute they're not useful, or the minute that they can't exploit them for what they give, they get killed and used for their flesh.
Yeah.
So do you think any of that behavior is something that we should be supporting?
No, I don't think so. But I think the problem is like as humans, naturally we are just very selfish people. We only think of ourselves.
Yeah.
And like I'm not gonna stand here and be like, oh no, I think about everyone, because I don't. I think of the people in my immediate circle, and that's it. I don't really worry about other people too much.
I appreciate that.
Like I can't stand here and be like, oh, no, I care about the whole world, because I'm not like that. If I know you, then like I'm gonna treat you like because I love you. But like if I don't know you, then I probably wouldn't do
Exactly.
much to help you. Like it sounds horrible, but
No, I agree, but
Yeah.
like, if you like, because we all have our own value system, right? You value your friends more than you value everybody else. I value my friends than I
Yeah.
value everybody else. But that doesn't mean that I draw an arbitrary line and I start killing the people that
No,
I don't
exactly.
value
Like, I
for
mean, I'll
something
still
that
treat you decent.
that I can
Yeah.
live without, right? So it's the same with animals. Just because you don't necessarily value them so much, it doesn't give you the right to exploit
Yeah.
or slaughter them, right?
yeah.
Okay. Do you know what veganism is?
Yes.
Yeah, no animal byproducts.
Yeah. So
No makeup, no food.
exactly.
Yeah.
nothing
So
like that.
it's not a diet. It's a moral principle where we say
Yeah.
we don't want animals to be exploited
Yeah,
or
my
slaughtered for
uncle
us.
and his wife were vegan.
Okay.
And they've been vegan for over 20 years, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easy to be
And my
vegan.
sister was vegan for a while, but then she got diagnosed with like low iron, so she needed to eat more iron, and the supplements weren't helping, so she had to eat meat to get that iron.
Yeah, like
Well,
steak.
Let me ask you this way: if there were no animals, would you say it's okay for her to kill humans to get iron? No. So they would have to exhaust all other options, right? You would have to exhaust all other. So I would say the fact that we see animals as a resource to us, as something that we
Yeah.
can just use whenever we need to, is already wrong from the start. That's how I see it, at least, right?
Yeah.
Because they have just as much as the right to live as we do.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourselves as being vegan?
I've thought about it
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
wanted
times,
to do it like
but
once.
just like because I've only recently turned 18, my mom was like cooking for me. Like I could cook for myself, but I was busy with school and everything, and she was already making for everyone else, so I just eat what she made. But like now that I'm moving out soon, like I've started thinking about what I want my diet to look like.
Yeah. What do you think?
I did think about it once, like going vegan, and then I was like, I don't know if I could go vegan. Maybe vegetarian. I could do that, but yeah.
But vegan
was-
again, it's not a diet. It's about
No,
not putting
yeah.
animals through this. About not seeing animals as resources.
Yeah.
So it seems to me like morally you kind of agree with it, but
Yeah.
it's just having trouble aligning your actions with
I think
your own
also
morals.
what makes like a bit of a problem is I think just in general, people always talk about like money in terms of that kind of stuff. So like if you want to go for like a certain lifestyle, it does end up genuinely being more expensive. Like if I wanted to get like cruelty-free makeup products, it typically is a bit more at least in South Africa, it's typically expensive. But yeah, I think it's more like, I think also just adjusting to it. Like as humans, we don't like change very often. So I think maybe doing baby steps, we can eventually get into it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, baby steps are still, like, baby steps in the right direction is still better than no steps in the right direction, of course.
Exactly.
But do you think, like, if you were in the shoes of animals, would you want yourself to say, I'll think about it, I'll do baby steps, I'll look into it, or would you want to say stop?
I think, I mean, I understand for people it's like hard to change. So I would say like just slowly start implementing things. Like I think, like with the whole like recycling and stuff, like global warming, like people have started taking baby steps towards that. I mean, I think you can do that with like anything. If you put your mind to it.
You can, but from my perspective, the way I see it is that when an action has victims, when there's victims on the other side of an action that we do, I think we should stop immediately regardless if it's easy or not for us. I think that we have a moral obligation to not do this to animals, just like we shouldn't doing this to humans or anybody else. Like if there, let's put it this way: if you are in a scenario where the only meat or the only cheese or the only milk you find in supermarkets is coming from dogs, would you still buy them? No. So you would see it as a moral obligation to stop.
Yeah.
But somehow with cows, chickens, pigs, you see it as maybe I'll continue a little bit.
I think it's because I've been like conditioned into like eating chicken and steak and like all that kind of stuff. It's normal.
Yeah.
So I think
but
that's.
but you do see the hypocrisy in it,
I know.
right?
I'm realizing how like hypocritical it is. And I'm like, actually quite interesting to like think about. I never like really thought about it that much before. I've never given it this much thought, but it is very hypocritical.
Can I give you some resources to look more into it?
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it. Wow. So I'm gonna give you a. So what you have there is something that you might need. It's called Challenge 22. Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan. It's free. They don't. It's all free. And if there's something that I encourage you to watch is if you scan this code or go on this website and type in this code, watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You might need to set it to English because I don't know in which language it will appear.
Okay.
But it's called the most important speech you'll ever hear. It's very good speech. It's kind of like what we discussed about now. And I think it empowers you to make changes. And even if it doesn't empower you to make change, at least you know and you're aware about the eggs, what happened for
you're
eggs.
aware of what decisions you're making.
Exactly.
You're not just blindly following,
Exactly.
which I think we do a lot as society in general. So,
So especially you're young, you seem very open-minded, and I think when I meet open-minded people, I tell them we have more of a responsibility to change, because the less open-minded people, they go around being apathetic or ignorant or whatever they want to be, but we can choose to change the world for the better by changing ourselves. Okay. Thank you so much. How many more animals should be exploited or slaughtered for you?
None.
Okay, you gotta go vegan.
Yeah.
I appreciate having this conversation with me.
It was very interesting to talk to you.
Do you live here?
I live in South Africa.
Okay, if you're in Amsterdam, I highly recommend the vegan restaurants. They're absolutely delicious. There's a thing called vegan sushi bar. If there's something that you're interested in, like you like sushi or stuff like that.
I love sushi.
Yeah, just Google vegan sushi bar and you'll find absolutely delicious food. Okay?
We're staying in Skidam at the moment, so I don't know if there's one there, but we'll also have a look there.
I don't know, but like there's honestly here there's so many vegan
There's
options
more
that
options,
yeah.
Skidam,
So look at it and please don't hesitate to make a change, okay? Because every time you will buy an animal product, you will exploit an animal. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. I guess you kind of heard a little bit of the conversation.
Yes.
Are you okay being live on YouTube?
I suppose so, yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you think about it? What do you think about veganism?
I think it's an entirely subjective choice for people to eat whatever they want. I
Okay.
kind of disagree with a lot of your points.
Okay.
You called me ignorant earlier, and I think that's subjective again.
Well, I didn't call you ignorant. I said you're either ignorant or apathetic towards it. But let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Would you say dogfighting is okay?
I think again it's subjective morality. I don't think animals fighting
According
under
to
any,
your own morals, is dogfighting okay?
I think under any morality fighting is not acceptable.
So is dogfighting moral to you?
Well, no, because that's cruelty.
It's cruel, okay.
Yeah.
Why is it cruel?
Because it's enforced cruelty. I think the difference between eating an animal as a meal is that if you kill it in a humane way, well then that's clearly a product to
What is a
consume.
humane way to? There's no humane way of killing
Yeah.
animals, right?
But you're trying to put animals on the same levels as humans. Yeah?
No. I'm trying to say that all animals deserve the right to live in their own body.
Yeah.
Do you-
But I don't agree with that.
You don't agree? You think you should decide for the bodies of animals?
Well, they are often bred to be born by the results of
And
humans.
you think that's right?
Well, yeah. I think we're put on this earth.
Okay.
Um,
Well, why is it right for you to decide for the body of animals and not for you to decide for the body of humans?
Well, because humans and animals are completely different entities.
Oh, we're completely. Us
Yeah,
two are
yeah.
completely different
Yeah.
entities. But what is
Yeah.
that difference
But we are
that
the
makes it
same-
justified
well,
to do this to them?
Because we're from the same species, and you can take it down. The
So we're
argument.
part of the same group.
Yeah, we are.
Well, wouldn't you say that white people said the same
Well,
thing
no,
when they enforced black people?
No,
we
you're,
said we were
sorry,
part of the
sir,
same group.
You're talking about races.
And you're talking about
no,
species.
I'm
That's
talking
still an
about-
arbitrary line.
but
That's
it's
still a
not-
genetic
it's
line. huh?
difference between races and species.
What is
So
the difference that
there's
because
clearly
I would
a
say
well, you've just
do you
tried to
dis-
bring.
do you decide to
But
be
you've just brought races into species.
Yeah.
Which is not at all what my argument was. We are a completely different species to an animal.
So
right?
you
Like a
discriminate based on
cow or a-
species?
or a- well, yeah, but they're not human.
So you discriminate based on species?
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah,
What is
well,
the
I
difference
eat meat,
between?
yeah.
Well, you still discriminate based on a physical trait, physical characteristic that they're
Yeah.
born with that they
Yeah.
didn't choose.
But they're not human.
It doesn't matter. It's
There's
the same.
no, there's no
your,
international
your
law
discrimination.
which
Your discrimination
actively
is just.
prevents me from killing an animal for consumption. And
That's
I think
exactly what the white people said when they were enslaving black people. There's no international law that forbids
you're
me.
trying to say that there's the same level of
Discrimination.
life between, for example, a pig and a human. That's not at all what I'm trying to say.
I also am not saying that.
But you've just tried to bring race into something. So slavery.
Because you're discriminating based on species, and I'm saying that
Yeah.
the discrimination is bad regardless of what you discriminate on. If somebody can't control how they're born,
Yeah.
why would you discriminate on that?
So when you were a child, did you eat meat by any chance?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so what made you change your mind then?
Because I don't want to discriminate.
Okay, but
I
you
don't
weren't
wanna be- I don't
discriminating.
wanna
But as a
be-
child,
I
then
wanna
you
be
were
fair.
discriminating. You
Yeah,
thought
I
that
was,
was
I was.
discrimination.
Yeah, that was
So
discrimination.
consumption of food for growth, you know.
Yeah,
for-
because
for-
you can
for
have
physical
because you
muscular
can have
repair.
plant-based products. You don't need animal
But
products.
it's not sustainable in the current climate.
Well,
Like, do you
what
care
do
about all the insects that you
Oh,
kill
you mean
with the
environmentally speaking
pesticides?
or anything else?
Well, if we went vegan today, let's say, for example, and we had to grow entirely based on crops, you understand you need a lot more food because of
No, you
the
don't.
quantity. Yeah.
No, you don't.
But to be healthy, yes.
Yeah, so
The- the
a
ability
vegan
to
a plant-based
produce-
diet, a
yeah.
plant-based diet
Further levels
requires
of protein?
requires
Yeah.
a quarter of land use. A quarter.
That's not. I can't. It's not true.
It is true. I could show you the study.
But
Do you
with-
have your phone?
but
Pick up
with
your
the-
phone.
No, sir. With the pesticides.
What do you mean? Let's look
No,
it
no.
up.
But I'm asking.
So
with
you're
the-
not. You don't care about.
No, but I'm
facts.
talking about the quality of the life, right?
Okay.
So you're going to remove a bunch of jobs because agriculture employs a lot of people.
That's
but
what
I'm talking
that's
about
when we
pesticides.
when we dismantled slavery, we also removed a lot of jobs. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have done it. You being concerned about jobs
No, but
doesn't
can
mean
we
anything
stop
when the
bringing
jobs are
other
unethical.
humans into the argument? I've never ever said anything on other races at all.
Well, I'm talking
And you
about
keep bringing
ethics
it
here.
back
I'm
in.
talking about ethics.
But
Do you
my
think-
ethical point is, I agree all humans are the same, right? I agree that. And anything that was done in the past is not my
Yeah,
responsibility.
everything who's part of
I
your
have
group
never-
is the same. It
Yeah, but-
deserves rights.
No, but I
Everything
have
outside
never-
of your group
Okay,
doesn't.
but you keep bringing an argument to me that
Yeah.
I've prompted something different between humans. No, I've never claimed slavery was once correct. Right?
never
But
said
I've
that you
said,
did.
yes, I correctly identify that animals are a different species and they do not have the same rights as humans. Like the whole of the world agrees under international law, you can kill animals for consumption.
Should you be able to kill dogs for consumption?
I believe so, yes, but I think it's on a moral stance that people don't because they view them as animals, and that's a societal norm.
People view all of them as animals.
Well, yeah, but it's a societal norm.
Yeah,
It's
does that
I'd
matter?
imagine there's a lot of Europeans.
Does that matter? Should societal norms dictate morality?
Well, I don't think it is a dictation of morality. I think it's a choice on what somebody would be willing to eat. If there's an animal born,
Listen, it's my
for
choice
the
whether I want to
purpose-
punch you or not.
Yeah,
but that
I'm fully
doesn't make
aware.
it doesn't make it moral or not. I'm sorry, I don't want to
No,
punch
no,
you.
of
Don't
course
worry about
not.
it.
No, it
But
is.
like what I'm saying is,
But
I
there's
have a choice
repercussions
whether
for
I
that,
where I
yeah.
can go around punching
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
if there were no legal repercussions, it would still be immoral for me to do that. It doesn't make it right just because because I believe I can.
Okay, but we
But do
came
you
to
think-
the
do you
stage
think-
in society
And
now.
do you think it's right to do this to animals just because we can? Because
Yes.
again, we can get all the nutrition we want from
Yes,
plants.
but
We
you don't
need-
care about all the insects that we kill with the pesticides.
But okay,
for
but let me
changing
put it
those
this way.
crops.
Okay, what do you think animals are fed?
Do you put pigs on the same
What do you
level
think
as
animals
ants?
are fed?
Out of curiosity.
Yes. Do you think
put
animals?
pigs and ants on
yeah,
the same
because
level?
they're all sentient.
Okay.
Do you think? What do you think animals are fed?
They fed plants also.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you know that animals are actually fed? Most of the crops that you complain that are a problem
Yeah.
are actually grown for the production of animals. So then
Yeah,
in
like
that
the
sense,
corn and stuff, yeah, I'm fully aware, yeah.
corn, soy, all
Yeah,
of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that means that when you consume an animal, you consume also all the animals that died in crop production for that animal.
But then how do we become vegan on your point if we're always going to kill animals like insects in crop production, which would be massively enhanced, which would mean
It wouldn't be massively enhanced. It would decrease again, as I explained it to
by
you.
by instance, more insects would surely be killed.
No,
under
it would
instance
be
where
less
it's changed
because
to farmland.
it takes more crops to grow for, like, if you want to get 100 calories or 100 grams of protein from an animal-based product,
Right.
it takes more land, more crops,
Yeah.
and therefore more killing
So
of
why
insects.
hasn't that been implemented then? If it's cheaper, it's better. Why
Because
hasn't
it's
that been implemented?
capitalism. People demand animal products.
Okay,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter what's ethical or what's good for the
Yeah,
planet, right?
yeah.
Like how does ever like why do people drive cars if it's bad
Yeah.
for the planet, right? It's the same
Because
thing.
they want to, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
capitalism. It doesn't
But
really matter.
I agree with you. In me, I believe it's down to fundamental choice. I don't see a difference between a human or like when I look, between all humans, they're all the same, right? But a pig is clearly not a human, and a cow is clearly not a human.
You're
a chicken is
clearly not me.
not.
That doesn't mean anything, right?
Well,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
mean you get to just because somebody doesn't belong to your group.
Mm.
It doesn't mean that you get to exploit and slaughter them because you have power over them.
Why,
you
why,
have power
why don't
over
you
animals.
complain about lions eating gazelles then?
I would listen. If I could go around telling lions to stop, I
But
would.
they
but
would
I,
die
but,
as a
but you're
species
human.
then.
You're human. I
They-
can communicate with you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you don't
I
want to
understand.
stop exploiting animals. How
Yeah.
hard do you think it would be for me to do this to lions?
Why do you say exploit?
Because it is exploitation.
But the only reason they're born is to be consumed.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
exploitation.
Well, I wouldn't say so.
Do you think that?
I would say it's farming practice.
Which is exploitation.
Well, you're using the word exploitation. I don't believe it's exploitation.
Bring up your phone and Google exploitation, and
Well,
let's see
I
if it's
don't-
exploitation.
Animal exploitation, you're putting that under the same terms as human exploitation.
I
which
never
is-
said human exploitation. I
but
said it's
that is-
exploitation.
But you're putting it under the same terms of it, right?
No, I said it's exploitation.
But would you say animal exploitation is on the same level as human exploitation?
I would say exploiting anybody is wrong.
Would you assume that an animal cannot be called anybody under that sentence?
No, animals can be anybody.
Well, they're not a person.
They have a personality. They don't.
You
They're not
think
granted
ants-
person. They're not.
Ants do not have personalities. They follow hormones and pheromones.
I don't know about ants, but
Yeah.
I can tell you about that. The fact that pigs, chickens, cows, they all have personalities.
Well, pigs do, yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that killing a pig to eat it is wrong. I think that you can say the pig has a desire to be alive, and I'm
Okay,
sure
let me
many
ask you
people
this:
would. But
what is the morally significant difference between a pig
Mm-hmm.
and a human that justifies the difference in treatment? If I take arbitrarily one human being
Yeah.
and one pig,
Yeah.
and I want to slaughter one of them,
Yeah.
how would you say I make the decision who to slaughter? Like, what is
Well-
what is that difference that says it's okay to slaughter one but not the other?
the fact one is a human and the other is a
Let's
pig.
say I'm not human. I'm not
Yeah.
human. I'm something else.
Okay, but you're moving the goalposts on the argument.
I'm moving. No, I'm trying to ask you what is the
Yeah.
difference between them. You're not answering this question. So
One
I'm
is an
asking.
extremely sentient being, and the other one is slightly sentient.
But sentience, there's no extreme or sentience is not on a scale. Sentience is either you have it or you don't. It's an on-off switch.
Yeah, I understand your point of the argument,
Yeah.
but from a human perspective, which you are, and the only thing you will ever be, you would pick the human on that logic. In my opinion, at least that's
Well,
what
again,
I would say.
Not again. I ask you again. What is the morally significant difference? Because you haven't answered that.
Well, I'm a human, so I would pick.
So you would pick somebody who belongs to your group. That's it.
Yes.
So then, if I ask you between
Well, no,
a white
it's not even
person
a
and a
group.
black person, would you pick a white person because they're part of your group?
I wouldn't say that's relevant to the argument. Again, we're
It
talking
is,
about
it is.
species, and
Well,
you keep
you
bringing
used-
race into the
No,
argument.
well, I keep showing you that
Yeah.
your logic
Mhm.
can apply to racists also.
Okay, but how do you know I'm white? It's a bold assumption.
I see your skin color and I
Okay.
assume you're white. Doesn't really matter, right? Like what I'm saying is that your logic is logic, the same logic that racists use to confirm their belief, to confirm their bigotry.
That might be a same logic argument, but again, we will reiterate the point that difference in race and difference in species are completely two separate things.
Of course,
So-
just like difference
Yeah.
in height or different in sex
The-
or gender
the-
is a completely
The
different
moral
things.
decision to kill somebody based on race is, I'm saying it now, is completely
So you
it's
say-
completely
but-
wrong. You
but
should
what
not
you
be
say-
killing based on race, and there shouldn't be racism. But I'm saying, from my perspective and who I am, I'm a human. I think eating meat is absolutely fine under all regards.
Yeah, because again, because you were born in a system that told you that it's okay to do
No, but
so.
even if I'm not in a system, I believe that it's the right thing to do. I believe I have the
So
right
you
to do it.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
have why? Because and I'm asking you again, why
Yeah.
do you believe that you have the right to kill an animal but not a human? And all you keep saying is because the human belongs to my group.
Yeah, because I'm a human.
Yeah, but
But you're acting like there needs to be a further explanation. to that.
there needs to be. It
Why?
can't just be
Why
bec-
not?
because
Why
it
not?
can't just be that I belong to the same. Because again, this is the same thing that we justified racist. That we justified all sorts of horrible things in our world
Yeah.
by saying these people are part of our group. These people are not part of my group.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can do whatever I want to them. That's what you're do. This is
No,
your
I'm
logic
not.
applying to animals.
but you-
because you can't say what it is.
No,
What
but
it
I
is.
can.
What it is about that group. You can't say what it is about that individual from the group.
Well, I can.
That
It's food.
justifies.
It's food. Yeah.
Well, a human being can also be food. So then again,
But I wouldn't eat another human being because of preference. I wouldn't want that.
you see us going in circles, right?
Well,
because
yeah.
you can't answer this
But
question.
you keep
Why
asking
does-
me the same pointless
because
questions.
you can't seem to answer this question.
Well, if I kept asking you why is the door green, well, you might keep saying, well, somebody decided to paint it green. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to have a further reason behind that. It might be if I look at a piece of art, well, this is a wave, but somebody might see something else.
But don't you
My
think that
simplistic
extraordinary
answer-
violence requires that it requires some further motivation other than you saying, well, they're part of my group or not?
Well, no, because I think the answer to the question is a lot longer than that. Why do I eat meat? It's not just a societal norm. It's more
No,
human
no,
evolution.
I don't care
and where
about
we
you
came
eating meat. I
from.
don't care about you eating meat. I don't care what you eat.
But you're asking why do humans eat
I
meat?
care
and why
what
is
you
it-
do.
Yeah.
Why do you exploit and slaughter innocent beings?
Well, I personally don't slaughter animals.
Well,
right?
you support it, so it's
Yeah,
the
I
same.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's the same.
You think it's not the same for you paying somebody to kill somebody else, or you killing somebody else?
Well,
It's
no-
you don't have the same responsibility in the matter.
Well, I'm personally not a slaughterer.
No, but you have
No.
the same responsibility.
Well, I do pay for the product, yes.
Yeah.
In the
so
supermarket,
you're
yeah, I do.
responsible for them.
Well, partly responsible, yeah, but
Yeah.
I do have the demand, of course.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to get at is, if you have an animal and it's there for consumption, and it's bred explicitly for consumption, and that you would like to eat it,
I
well,
could say
the animal
exactly the
wouldn't
same
be
logic
born in the
about
first
human beings,
place.
right? That
Yeah.
they use exactly the same logic about slavery. If you have a slave that's bred for slavery, that they're used for slavery, why not use them for slavery? You see,
But,
that,
you
but that's what I
keep-
mean.
You keep trying to compare
No, I keep
animals
showing
and
you.
humans
I
as
keep
the same
showing,
entity.
I
They're
keep
not the same
applying your
entity.
logic
No,
in.
you-
Listen, I keep
How?
applying.
How do you keep applying my logic? I've kept saying this multiple times. I don't view humans, right, at all the same as
Why?
farm animals.
And I keep asking you why.
Because they're not the same.
You
It's
have
quite
to
that
be able.
simple.
You have to be able. What is it?
Is a
okay,
pig a
what is
human?
it? How is it not the same?
What is a pig a
What?
human?
What is the difference between them? That's what I keep asking
The
you. and you
species.
can't
The
answer.
species. It's a simple.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
find a person like who genetically is not human, genetically, if you find out that this person walking on the street, they look
But
like
then-
a human being, but they're not genetically
That's
human.
not possible.
What do you
Well,
mean it's not possible? It is.
How
They're
can
not
you
part of
find
the
a
genome.
human?
They're so outside of the human genome.
Which
They-
person has ever existed that's not a human?
I
That
mean,
is
there
a
have
human.
been different types of human beings on this planet. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm fully aware.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
since there have been different types of human
If
beings
one
on
of
this
them
person,
just miraculously
yeah,
spawned
if one
in
of
a day-
them just genetically mutated to a point that they're no longer human beings.
But they are descended of humans.
They are descendant of humans,
Well,
but
then
they're
they're
no
human
longer
then.
human beings.
How are you no longer human if you are human?
Because you can't produce a fertile offspring with another human. That's species. That's what species mean. It
Yeah.
means that you can produce fertile offspring with somebody. You are
Mhm.
saying because I can't produce fertile offspring with somebody, with that somebody, then they deserve to die for food.
Again, that's not what I said. You took.
You said they're not the same species.
You took a magical.
What does
s-
species
You
means?
took a magical
It's a group.
scenario where there's a single person to support your argument on a single person, exactly looking at genomes to support
You
your
can't
argument.
answer a question.
No, but
that's why.
that's what you've just done yourself.
You just say species.
It's like me saying, well, what happens if an asteroid fell out the sky right now and hit the ground and
You
caused
just-
a
you-
volcanic eruption? It's like on this logical possibility. So on
You just
on,
named the category. You say what is the difference between a pig and a human? You said,
Yeah,
well,
there's clear
look-
difference.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
The difference is called category for you,
It's
right?
a species, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's a category.
So when
it's a
I- when I-
categorical
when I
difference.
see an animal
it's the
which is
same
a-
difference that
yeah.
racists justified. It's exactly the same difference. What's the difference between a white person and a black person? Oh, it's a race. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
a category. It's another
Yeah.
category. You don't name the trait. Name the trait. Name the trait of the animal. What is it that a human being should not have that it make it okay to do this to them? What is it that an animal needs to have so that you don't do this to them?
No, because that goes down the argument of I've heard them before of where you'd say, well, what happens if a human wasn't sentient? And you can say, well, if it has the same intelligence
If
level.
a human isn't
Yeah.
sentient,
Then
they're
would you? Then I'm not going to still support it. I think that's a silly idea. I think humans are humans and animals are animals, and I think there's a clear distinctive difference. And you know what a farm
X
animal
is X, Y is Y.
Yeah.
This is a non sequitur. It
But-
doesn't
but
mean
I
anything.
know what a pig looks like, and I'm going to consume pork meat. I know what a chicken looks like. I'm going to consume.
So you
chicken
kill
meat.
them based on how they look like.
No, I don't kill them based on how they look like. I know what they are.
Yeah.
I
What-
don't
I
look
keep
at a
asking you
chicken-
what the difference
I don't,
is.
I don't
What
look at-
what are they? What are they
Yeah.
other than this category that you created?
They're meat bred for consumption.
Okay, but that can be applied also to humans. That also can be applied to humans again.
It, you, yes, it could, but it's not, because it's against the Human Rights Convention.
You don't seem to understand my point of view.
No, I do. I just think it's a poor argument.
Well, you don't understand it because you can't answer the question. What is the difference between a human and an animal? And we keep going in circles. All you're saying
Okay, so
is
for
the
a pig,
species.
A pig looks
all
like
you're
a
saying
pig.
is the species. That's it.
It has trotters. It has a snout.
Yeah.
Yeah. A chicken has a beak and feathers, and it's a chicken.
And that's what makes them deserving of slaughtering.
It's
them.
not a human. Genetically, it's not a human.
Okay,
Yes.
but if a human being were to have a snot, if they were to walk on 4 legs, a human being, would it be okay to slaughter them?
If it was genetically a human, no. If it
Okay.
was genetically a pig,
Okay, so
which
again,
is what it
you
seems
just
it would
you
be.
just you just throw this arbitrary line. You say if they're humans or not. That's it.
But no, you said if a human had a snout and walked on 4 legs and looked like a
Yeah.
pig, well then it's not really like what human exists in this peripheral view.
I have no clue.
You bring up
I don't think that's a
questions
I don't
to win
think
your argument.
When I ask you what is the morally significant difference.
Mhm.
You know what morally significant means?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it means that morally you can justify
Can you give me
difference in
examples
treatment.
where a human has been born which looks exactly like a pig?
Well, no, but I
Okay,
can
so
tell.
why
I can
use
tell.
that as an argument
But
basis
why use
then?
it? But what you're saying is
You've
that
used it as an argument
no,
basis.
but you're
on
using
multiple
you're
occasions
using
now.
physical traits. You're saying that
No, I'm not.
They,
You're
saying.
saying I'm saying that. I never said that.
What did you say? Did you not
I
say that
said
they
it-
have hoofs?
I said it's a
Did you
different
say they have
species.
hoofs?
I said it was a
Did you
different
say
species.
hoofs?
So I will
So
go back-
category or
if you would
physical
like
trait?
to run back the video.
Okay,
it went,
category
I
or
said it's a
physical
different
trait?
species. You said what's the difference then? I said well we can go down.
I don't
physical
want to talk
traits,
to you anymore.
Which I told
I don't want to talk to
Why?
you. Because you don't get the point, and it's
No,
that's
because
not
you
me.
haven't
that-
convinced me. That's
no,
why you don't want to
but I
talk.
don't want to convince you. It's
Why
you,
not?
because you
You
think
stand in the street to have the conversation.
But I don't want to
Your
have
goal is
conversations
to
with people.
convince
No,
right?
I don't want to convince people
Why not?
who because I don't care about people who think it's okay to exploit and
Can
slaughter
I ask
innocent
why
beings.
do you do this?
Because there's people who don't want to exploit or slaughter innocent beings,
Yeah.
and I want them to stop. The people who don't care about it, I don't care about you. That's it.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough.
But just what?
I'm not here to impose my views. I'm here to
But
show
you
you
do
that
seem to be very persuasive. That you'd like to change people's minds.
I want to change people's
Yeah.
minds, but I know I'm well aware that I can't change the minds of people who think that animals are so far beneath them that it's okay to do whatever you want to them for something that is optional to you. I can't. Like if you believe that I'm sorry. It's you do you. I think it's wrong, but there's
No,
no right to
I
believe
believe
it.
you have the right to be vegan as much as you like.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it's an obligation to be vegan. I don't think
An
it's a right.
obligation?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think.
What are the obligations?
Well, I think you, morally speaking, you shouldn't be exploiting and slaughtering an innocent sentient being
Mhm.
because they have emotions, because they heal pain, and because you wouldn't want that done unto you. So then why do it to others?
I wouldn't do it over humans. Certainly not. But
Yeah, I
over
understand
animals,
that.
yes.
I understand that you draw the line at humans because you fail to respond. What is it that human beings have that's so superior that makes it okay?
I've never
that
said
ma-
it's superiority.
No, well, it is right.
Well,
because
I didn't say humans are superior, but I would say that I am a human. I know what other humans look like. I've got many humans in my family and my friends. I don't have any friends that are pigs or cows. I've never had any interaction with them. I've only ever viewed them
Have
as
you
food.
had pets?
I have.
Okay. Why
Yeah.
didn't you kill them?
Well, because I purchased them for the reason of being a pet.
Okay.
You know,
What pets did you have?
I've had dogs. I've had
Okay.
fish, hamsters.
Okay, would you find it morally okay for somebody to bring dogs to life to kill them? You said bringing dogs to life for the sole purpose of dog fighting is wrong.
Yeah.
And I ask
I wouldn't agree with pig fighting, chicken fighting.
why is that wrong?
Because it's enforced cruelty. Like when you kill an animal, I would expect that you don't kill it in an inhumane way, or a slow way. I should
Let's
say.
let's say
a
if
quick
they,
way.
let's
You
say,
should kill
let's
it
say
in a
they're
quick
given
way.
an injection where they don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
Would that make it right?
Well, if they died,
They still die, they still fight, they still do all this,
Mm-hmm.
but they're given an injection.
and they don't feel any pain.
They don't feel pain.
They don't feel any upset to each other.
They still feel upset to each other. They still have all the other emotions that they would, but they don't feel pain.
Are they physically inflicted damage onto them?
Yes.
Which could cause them longevity of issues down the future.
Yeah.
Well, then I
and
wouldn't agree
dying.
with it. I wouldn't agree with it then. No.
Okay.
Because that's clearly inflicting pain.
And because,
It's a fake and emotional pain.
And because
Yeah.
we don't need to do that.
Yeah, but
what is the
explicitly
difference
for
between?
consumption.
But what is the difference between that and consuming animal products?
Because if you quickly kill an animal, which is only born for the purpose of to be consumed,
Okay,
I think that's fine.
Okay, what if I do this? If I'm a person that likes to kill pigs and
Yeah.
then fuck them, that's
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
I shoot them and fuck them.
Okay.
Would you find that okay? Would you find that morally okay? Because according to your own
Yeah.
rules,
Yeah.
it should be 100% okay.
I don't agree with having sex with animals. No.
Why not? It's
Well,
about
it's bestiality.
Why is bestiality wrong?
Well, I'd say for the same reason that torturing the animal would be wrong.
So bestiality is wrong because
Well, I'd say it's not wrong. Again,
Because they
it's
feel
wrong
what
on the
feel-
personal level. I would
Because-
say that you should probably seek guidance on how to cope with that.
so it's only wrong because of the human being. It's not wrong because of the victim.
If you had sex with a plant, I would also be questioning what's going on with the human in that instance.
We have sex with objects all the time. Humans do that all the time. Do you question that?
Myself,
Yeah.
I don't participate, no, but I don't know what other people get up to.
I mean, you know, people use dildos and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but you were talking about dead living objects of fleshy matter.
Doesn't again.
One of them's plastic
I
and
asked-
one of
well,
them's a
just
dead
what
animal.
is the issue with it? Again, you fail to respond to it. You just say something like,
Well, I guess
was
you
born
would
to
you
know that
disagree
it's
with
wrong."
that. No, but do you disagree with that?
I of course disagree.
So do I.
The reason why I think
Yeah.
bestiality is wrong is
Yeah.
because there's no consent. Because animals cannot consent to having sex with them. The same reason why it's wrong to have sex with a human who doesn't consent. That's why it's bad.
Yeah, I
it's
disagree
not,
with that.
It's
Yeah.
not bad because society says it's bad. I don't care what society says. I don't care if society says bestiality is okay. I would still not think bestiality is okay because there's no consent. into it.
I'd say especially with a dead or alive one. I'd
Yeah,
say there's
and
something
especially
wrong with the
because it
human,
harms
yeah.
them, right? Yeah, but it's the exactly
Yeah,
like
but any
because for
any
something
suffering I
optional.
don't agree with. I think the animal should be able to live as free as it likes until it's slaughtered, and once you kill it,
Well,
you can consume
well,
it.
none of that happens in animal agriculture. Okay, none of it.
Yeah.
Okay, animals are forcefully impregnated. They're
Yeah.
literally somebody puts their hands in their
Yeah,
anus, holds their
I'm aware.
cervix,
Yeah.
and injectable semen.
Yeah.
That's not bestiality.
I wouldn't say the human is gaining in most instances. I can't speak for all sexual gratification from that.
Okay, so just
So that is
bestiality to
purely
use
for the purpose of insemination.
Okay,
Yes,
so bestiality to use only when they get sexual gratification.
I would say as intended as sexual intercourse. Yes, I don't think impregnation of a cow in that example would be considered.
Okay, taking
Yeah.
their babies away from them is okay, right? Separating the babies from them.
If it's
It's not
explicitly,
suffering.
Well, I've told you I don't view humans and animals on the same
No,
level.
no, but
if it's
you
for
still see
farm-
animals suffering.
Yeah, they're
And
taken away.
it's none of it is for food, by the way. Don't kid yourself. All of it is for money. Okay,
Well, yeah, but
farmers
who's
do
paying-
it for
who's
money.
paying for
yeah,
it?
yeah, you're
So it
paying
is for
it.
food,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's not. It's not because again, you can have nutrition, all the nutrition you need from plants. So
Yeah.
everything that you're doing out of your own pleasure. You get taste pleasure from it. It's not because of.
I wouldn't say it's out of pleasure. I don't explicitly eat for pleasure. I'm
you
gonna
eat
be
for
honest.
taste pleasure. You choose these products because you like the taste of them.
I like the taste of them, but the primary reason I eat is for
Yeah,
food.
the primary
'cause I'm
reason you
hungry.
eat. Yeah, of course.
It's
but-
not for
No,
it's
I
not for
agree. I agree
taste.
with that. But
as
the
a
reason-
uni student, I
yeah.
can tell you, I'm not eating for taste
but the
all
reason,
the time.
But the reason why you
Yeah.
make the decisions, when you make the decisions which foods to choose, of
Mm.
course, when you eat
No,
for-
I would look on more nutritional level. I would say I'm not a big bothered by taste. I'd say nutrition. The reason I eat meat is because of the high protein content.
But you can get high protein. You get like tofu is higher in protein per calorie than meat.
It's a bit more expensive though.
It's not.
Chicken is the cheapest meat. I live in the UK, sorry, and you can get
In
a whole
UK,
chicken
it's
for
cheaper.
£3.
Tofu is cheaper.
Nah, not
It
from
is.
what I've seen.
It is.
On a discount.
There's actually 3 studies done in UK specifically. They show that being plant-based is actually
How
way
much would you
cheaper
say it costs for a kilo and a half of tofu then?
for a kilo and a half. of
'Cause I can
tofu.
get a
But
kilo
I
and
don't
a
know.
half
And
of
I'm
chicken.
telling you price per calorie and per protein, not price per kilo, because I don't know what
Oh,
that is.
size, quantity. Like if I got a whole chicken or a whole thing, I'm gonna eat the lot, right? I'm gonna eat it all. I thought tofu, in my own opinion, from what I've seen, costs quite more.
It doesn't. It's like here in Netherlands, it's
Mhm.
€1.50 for 300 grams of tofu.
Yeah, I can get a 1.5 kilo chicken for £3.50 in England.
Yeah, but
It's cheaper.
So there's such a small price difference, you see,
Yeah.
and you'd say, does that justify what you do to animals? Like I understand that you think fuck animals, but do you really think that justifies what we do to them for a little bit of a difference in price when you can choose otherwise? How is that fair, man? Come on, would you say it's fair towards them?
Probably not, no.
Yeah, so
But
then-
that doesn't. Being fair doesn't necessarily mean it's right. People are born into different levels of society.
Yeah, but
That's
you
not
as a
fair
person,
either.
you as
a lot of the rich say fuck to the poor, bro, and they
yeah,
get
but
on
you
with
as
it.
a person,
Yeah.
you want fairness. I want fairness. I want a fair world.
Mhm.
That's why I'm vegan. It's because I want people to because I think it's fair towards the animals to not exploit them. I think it's because I can choose, otherwise they can't. The minute I choose an animal product, I force my decision onto an
No,
animal.
but the animal's already dead if you purchase it from the
Well, no,
supermarket.
because the next animal
you
is
want to
forced
reduce
into
the
it.
you want to reduce the demand basically.
I want less animals to be forced into the situation. I don't want to be responsible for that. That's
So
it.
who would look after all of these animals? So like sheep, for example.
Obviously,
they
in
continually
time-
grow their coat. They have to be sheared, otherwise they start to suffer. Then.
No, these are selectively bred animals. All of the
Yeah,
animals in animal
but now
agriculture
now
have
they
been
exist.
selectively bred.
But
yeah.
now they exist.
Now they
How do
exist.
you fix that issue then?
Well,
you just let them
slowly,
die off.
more and more people will become vegan. Less and less of these animals will be brought into existence.
Do you not agree with the livelihood that it would impact a lot of farmers' livelihood? They don't have the skills to go.
Yeah,
to
but
another
farmers can choose
education.
otherwise. Animals can't.
What would they else be?
Well, fucking farm plants. Why do you need to farm animals?
They're quite good at it.
Yeah, so farm plants again. That doesn't mean that if I'm good at fighting, doesn't mean I go around fighting
Yeah.
with people on the street if there's no jobs for fighting. It means I find another job. Like again, this is a moral issue. It's about the idea that we see them as resources. We see them as a means to an end just because we can. That's literally it.
Yeah, I do see it exactly the same way you do. Your moral stance is we shouldn't do it. My moral stance is yeah, let's eat.
Well, no, your moral stance is the same. It's just that you refuse to believe it for food because again, for every other other product that you get from it, whether it's dog fighting, whether it's for leather, for example, what do you think about leather? Do you think we should be killing animals for leather?
I think it's a byproduct, but yeah. I'd say the primary reason
It's
you
not,
kill a cow
they're
is
both
not.
co-products. That means they both help each other, but
Well,
they don't.
Isn't the primary reason for a cow to get milk and meat then leather is kind of on the side?
No. Sometimes they are actually
Yeah.
killed for it, but like.
Yeah, okay.
But again, like, would you say like strictly killing people for their fur or for their skin? Not people, sorry, animals.
Yeah.
Strictly for their fur or their skin. Would you find that moral? According to your own morals.
If the byproducts like meat and the other
You
things.
can get other byproducts. Again, you always have another option, but you choose this option
No,
where you kill them.
I think in the instance where you kill an animal for leather, you should then consume the meat. I think that's another obligation. I don't like waste, if I'm completely honest either. Yeah.
Again, you're missing the point. Would you think it's okay to do this to them for the leather or for?
I think
fur?
it would be okay, but I think it would be extremely wasteful.
So you think it would be okay? Yeah, because then I don't.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't want to have this conversation with you because there's no reason, right? You draw these.
I don't know. You're standing in the street,
you
mate.
you draw these arbitrary lines where you say,
Yeah.
well, I like meat.
Mhm.
I don't care about animals. I only care about humans because that's what I've been taught, that humans matter. It probably.
No, I wasn't taught it, man. It's my
come
own
on.
choices.
Come on, it's not your own choices.
Nobody told me one day, yeah, eating animals is okay. It was just there, and I was fine with
Let
it.
me put it this way: if you see me kicking a dog right here, would you come and join me, or would you ask me to stop?
Well, I certainly wouldn't join you. I would probably attempt to
What
get
if
you
I
to
tell?
stop.
What if I tell you then? But I'm gonna eat them.
I would again say I don't think the Netherlands. I'm not from here. Is it legal
Doesn't
to eat
matter
dogs
legally.
here?
Let's. I have a legal loophole where I can do that.
I wouldn't agree with you torturing the animal physically. I wouldn't
Okay,
agree
no,
with
I
that.
just cut their throat. That's it. I just want to cut their throat.
It's legal.
Let's say it is.
Completely.
I don't think it is, but let's say I have.
I don't think it
I
is
find
here.
a legal
There
loophole.
is cultures
That's not the
in the
point, though.
world which you can do this,
I
right?
get
Where
that.
you can eat
Yeah,
dogs,
I
right?
get that, but that's
if
not the
I saw
point.
somebody in a country where it was
No.
societal norm to do it, I wouldn't be bothered.
But
no.
if I do it right here, right now, in front of you, would you mind if I do it? Would you say? Would you join me in consuming this
I would-
dog, or would you stop me?
I think it's a very particular instance that you've given again. In
Yeah.
the middle of this street right next to the Rijksmuseum, I would say, why are you here? Like, again, these cultures and practices aren't done in the middle of the street in front of people.
Why?
They're done in
Because they're awful.
farming
Because
environments.
they're awful.
Well, no, because fields aren't in the city centres. Like, the pastures aren't in the
no,
city
the reason why
centres.
they slaughter cows or all animals, they slaughter them behind closed doors, is because nobody wants to see
Well, no,
that.
but they also are in
Nobody wants
farming,
to be part
more
of that.
rural areas.
And if you
where
care about
cows are-
humans, by the way,
Yeah.
what do you think about slaughterhouse workers? These are people who are marginalized people who are forced in these situations. You care about humans, but these people you're supporting.
What do you mean by that one? Sorry.
Well, like in UK, Romanian people. I'm from Romania, by the way. Romanian
Okay.
people, Polish people.
Yeah.
They come to UK to find better opportunities.
Yeah, to make
and
more
they're-
money.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're put in these situations where they have to slaughter animals, and
They have to?
They have to because
They're forced?
Well, they're forced because they don't have any
How,
other
how,
options.
how are they forced?
Well, that's that's how they get the visa, right? That's how they.
Well, no. Prior to Brexit, you could move to the UK freely as part of freedom of movement. You can't anymore. I don't know if there's visas for farm practices. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But I mean,
doesn't matter. They're
I've
marginalized.
killed animals myself.
The
Like,
reality
I'm,
is
I'm not a
they're
person.
they're
who would say-
marginalized
yeah.
people. They're people who don't think they have any other choices, right? They're people who
But they
don't.
surely do have other choices.
Just like you have other
Yeah,
choices,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah. I came to vacation in the Netherlands. I could have went somewhere else.
Yeah. So, but they are put in this. Like you acknowledge that there's people who are in situations where they can't be. They don't get to choose how easily.
Well,
It's
you
not
can-
easy
you-
for them to change their jobs.
No, you
right?
can certainly choose your profession.
Well, do you think all the people in the slaughterhouses choose to work in slaughterhouses? Come on, man. Are you really that like?
Well, what do you mean? They applied for the job and they accepted the request. And
No, it's people who have no other choice usually. It's people who are put in in situations where they're basically being taken advantage
But
of.
I can't-
All these people,
I
like
don't
you can
know-
look it up. All these people have
Who are all these
PTSD.
people?
Who have PTSD.
I don't
who
know
have
these
mental
people,
issues.
though.
You don't know it, but you have this magical thing that's connected to internet where you can
Yeah.
get all the information you need. You
Yeah.
don't have to trust everything
I don't
that
think it's
say.
an important part of a discussion.
No, it's not. But like,
Yeah.
because what I'm
But
trying
you've
to
just
say,
said- I'm just-
trying to say that
Oh.
you're choosing to make you're making a choice that's bad for everybody.
But you gave
but
an
it benefits
example of
you only. You and your own
Romanians
pleasure.
moving to the UK
Yeah.
and the Polish moving to the UK
Yeah.
and being forced to work in slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
Well, they chose to move
Well,
to a
not
different
forced.
country.
Maybe forced is the wrong word, but they don't have any other choice.
But they do. They chose to move to the UK.
Do you honestly believe that every person on this earth can choose their job if they want to?
But they can choose to move to another country. That's certainly a choice.
And work in another slaughterhouses again, the same
Well, if you
problems,
chose to
right?
move to the UK and then you couldn't find employment, and then you chose to move to the UK freely, and if that was the only way you could make money or move back to your home country, I would say then that's the choice. You've moved to here. I guess you're not working in a slaughterhouse.
But again, you're missing the point again because
Yeah.
you keep focusing on this other, like you keep focusing on moving to the UK or whatever.
No, but
you're
you
missing the
said
point.
that. You
What I'm
said
telling you
people
is
are
that these
forced to work
people.
there.
Well, no, I'm not. Again, I replaced the word. Not forced. They're in situations where they can't be in other situations. They're in a situation where they can't afford to change the job. They're either paid way better or with their skill set
Yeah.
they would be paid way less and they couldn't afford to live in that country anymore or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation is, there's complex situations that people are in.
I
those
understand that, but
situations.
I'd say-
and these people are in situations where it's
Yeah.
complex for them to change their
But
job.
do they want a better quality of life? If they've moved to the UK to work a job they don't like?
I don't think that matters. What matters is that
Well, I think it does, because if they're working in that job and they've moved to a country for a better quality of life to work in a job that they don't like, well, they're making a sacrifice on a job they don't like for a better
see.
quality of
So-
life.
I don't know. I feel like this conversation is going nowhere because I feel like you refuse to take a responsibility for absolutely anything.
No, I pay for the products.
Yeah, you
That's
pay
my
for the products.
responsibility.
You are because of you, it's these people have PTSD. Because of you, it's these animals get exploited
I
and
don't
slaughtered.
think I gave them PTSD. They chose to work that job.
That's
Just-
not really as
I used
easy
to
as
live in
that.
Germany for a year. But
So
I
how
chose
is it
to
that you
move
can
there.
acknowledge? How is it that you can acknowledge that some people don't have a choice in the matter of the jobs that they choose, but you?
When did I say that?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to discuss this. I barely have any more energy, and I don't want to discuss with you because.
What's your name?
I'm Chip. I
Chip,
don't.
Jake.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to shake your hand
Okay.
because I don't.
I think
I don't
that's good.
approve. I don't approve of anything that you're doing, and yeah.
Man, you're an enthusiastic guy, and
Yeah.
as much as I don't agree with you, I'll be honest with you. If this is what you truly believe in, I would never tell you to shy away from what you're doing. You're
That's
doing
okay.
a good thing for yourself. Man,
I appreciate that.
it. I really
Yeah,
do.
I don't do
appreciate
it
the
for
time.
myself. I do it for the animals. I appreciate your
Okay.
time also,
Yeah,
but like, just
Man, I like to shake people's hands. I respect you.
I'm-
Still,
I'm
I
s-
guess you don't respect me.
no, I don't respect this choice of yours. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't respect the choice to exploit and slaughter innocent being. I just can't.
Okay, yeah. Do you have family members that do that?
I do.
And you still talk to them?
I
guess you
I'm,
shake their hands?
no, I don't. No, I actually have told them time and time again that it will probably come to a time that if they don't change, I won't talk to them anymore. Same thing.
I don't think that's worth it, man. I
Yeah.
think your family's more important than that, and you know that.
I think the idea that somebody can just oppress somebody else because they have power over them, I don't think that's anything that blood or the fact that I have relations with somebody means anything.
Even
That
your
means
own mother, your own father?
it means nothing to me.
Oh man, come on. They're the reason you're here today.
They are, but I didn't choose to be here. I just was born here, and they're the ones who grew me for whatever 10, 12 years, 18 years, and
yeah,
then
18 years of their life.
yeah, and then I helped them for it, and then I talked to them for 18 years. It's done, huh?
Yeah, man, they
The-
love
the-
you deep
the-
down, bro. Chip, they love you deep down, bro.
I
I'll
know,
tell you this.
I know,
I like
but
to argue, bro. I like to talk. To
I
people.
see
That's
that you
why I
like
came
to.
here.
I see that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like to
yeah.
argue,
I'm in
but
debate society.
yeah, but again, the whole idea is that there is the only reason that you continue to do this is because you think it gives you benefit. But
Yeah,
if
just
you
like eating meat,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
I like it.
that's it. And I agree with you. Like I used to like it too, but it's. I just at some point you have to think of yourself also of the victims on the other side, and you disregard the victims completely. So
Yeah, I
that's
just
why
think
it's
the
difficult.
animals.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to have a conversation with you because you disregard them completely.
Yeah.
Because most people they see animals as individuals who want to live, who have moral value. You don't think they have moral value.
Yeah, I just don't think they're humans. They're
Yeah,
different species.
I don't think they're humans.
That's it.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're like again. My moral system means that I value my family more than I value my friends or my family.
Yeah.
I value them more, and then I value probably all strangers on this earth equally.
Yeah.
None. That doesn't mean I throw an arbitrary line. I get to choose what I want with the people that I don't value.
Yeah, of
Because
course. We're not
extrinsic
gods.
value,
Yeah, we're not God, I
extrinsic
understand.
value
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
intrinsic value that matters.
Yeah.
What I recognize is that all these people on this planet, they want to live and not be exploited or slaughtered. It's the same for animals. They want to live and not be exploited or slaughtered.
Yeah. I understand your point, yeah. But I'm
Okay.
sure if I said that to a lion, he'd eat me anyways.
Yeah, but
He wouldn't stop.
But if you said something, if you said to a child who has a gun, "Don't
Yeah.
kill me,"
Yeah.
they might do it because they don't know what they're doing,
And
right?
that's unfair. But
That's
that
unfair.
happens.
But that's the
That
thing,
happens
right?
to many people.
If you're a moral agent, it doesn't like you get to choose morality. You get to judge morality. But if
I
somebody
don't
else
think I have
isn't
the
a
right
moral
to judge
agent,
most people, I'll be honest.
well, you have the right to choose what
I
is
try
moral.
not to judge people.
You have the right to choose what is moral or what isn't moral to you, right? Because as you say, morality is subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that sense, you get to decide whether what you do is moral or not. Whereas an individual who's not a moral agent, even if they do an action that you wouldn't otherwise do, you would still find it immoral that they do it, but you couldn't blame them for it because they don't know it. They don't know any better. They're not a moral agent.
Yeah.
So it's the same for lions. They're not moral agents. Lions, they commit infanticide, they rape each other.
Yeah.
Like we can't judge what we
Yeah.
do based on
But
what
if you
lions
policed-
do.
If you policed all animals, that's what I'm saying. That's my main part of the argument. Animals are different to humans, and they will do that. But we are a completely different entity. We have our own different mentality. The way we think is different. The way we look
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
We actually are the most sentient of sentient beings.
I don't think sentience is again. It's an on-off switch. I
No?
think we're more
You don't think
intelligent.
so?
No, because they all have emotions.
Do you not think we're more aware of the world around us?
No, I
the
think
fact
they're-
that we're on a planet in space, we know that they don't.
I think but that's not sentience. Sentience means we have emotions. We have a subjective
Yeah.
experience.
Do you know? But I mean, dogs, for example, they don't feel guilt. They just feel sadness.
I
They
think-
don't experience the same level of sentience as we do.
I think so. I think that subjective experience, the way we experience the world around you, obviously can be enhanced or dehanced based on the senses that you have and based on the cognitive capabilities that you have,
Yeah.
right? Like the level of intelligence. If you're very intelligent, you might go around wondering how it is that you're flying through on a rock in space, right? Like you say, and that kind of enhances your capability. But I don't think that your experience of the world is in any way better than my experience of the world if I don't do that.
Yeah.
I just think it's
if
different.
some other
I think-
species came to the level of they could communicate with us in the way that we communicate with each other, I think I'd maybe reconsider that species. Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
quite a bit behind.
Yeah, but that's that's still
I
an
understand
arbitrary
it's-
line
it's a
because
long- it's a long
because there's still
distance, yeah.
people who you can't communicate
No, I
with.
know, but I whether they can communicate with me or not, just because they can't talk doesn't mean they're not my species. They're still my species.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my
I-
species is just my group.
I wouldn't kill people that I couldn't communicate
It's
with.
just my
Yeah.
group again. It's
Yeah.
it's an arbitrary line.
Yeah.
It's just a taxonomy that you chose to say they're part of
But
my
on
taxonomy.
a moral stance, if I have a final question to ask you, if there was 10 pigs and 10 humans, and it was kill 10 or kill 10.
Is it
all-
like a
all-
trolley problem right
all-
now?
Yeah, or the world blows up.
Yeah.
Would you kill the humans over the pigs?
Do I have to choose between which one?
Yeah, it's 10 pigs or 10 humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one would you do?
Is there? If I don't choose, what happens?
The world blows up and everybody dies.
And everybody dies.
Yeah.
I might go with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, man, come on.
I'm a deontologist.
Really?
Yeah. I think everybody has the right to live.
Yeah, I get
Equally,
that, but
you know?
I think 10 pigs would be nothing.
I
That's literally
to you.
for the whole of the world existence.
you,
this,
but
this,
like-
this wonderful thing that we have.
To you, but probably to the 10 pigs, it's their whole. You're erasing 10 universes to them, right?
You're racing the whole world rather than choose 10 pigs or 10 humans.
No, I'm just not making a choice. It's not my. I'm not the one to be blamed if somebody else puts me in the situation,
One-
right?
Not making a choice is still a choice. in
I
that
don't think it
instance.
is. Not
You-
not morally speaking. Not making a choice is not.
But you've chose the whole world, but you know you could pick the 10 humans as well. Then you save the rest of them and all the other animals.
I don't know. Like let's put it this
I would
way.
pick the
Let's
10.
put it this way.
Yeah.
I would probably pick the 10 humans, but I
Just
wouldn't.
saying.
I wouldn't call it that. That's a moral thing to do.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
obviously I don't think I would be crazy enough to not do that. But I would, and by crazy enough I mean that I'm also born in a system, and I was born eating animal products, and my inherent go-to move is thinking that animals in some form are lesser than us.
Yeah.
But I'm trying cognitively to acknowledge that that's not true.
Yeah.
But that is my main go-to instinct. So I would probably choose that because of it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that if I were to choose the pigs, I would think it's more moral or more immoral. I would think either way, either choice is immoral. The
Yeah,
only
okay.
moral choice
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be to not choose.
Man, yeah, I respect you, man. I really do. I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. As
Okay.
much as you didn't have a good interaction with me, I don't.
I'll
think,
just do a fist bump.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Maybe you didn't have a good interaction with me, but I admire it. I do. Like you stand on your points, and you do like to keep going. I really do.
I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
just please think about it also a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more. You're not the one. Listen, we're all animals, man.
I know.
We were all just because we developed higher intelligence doesn't give us the right to do what we want to every species.
Yeah.
That's what you think. Because that's
I
how
guess,
you justify it.
Yeah. I just like eating meat. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I understand that, but like you can't, because you like eating meat. You start from the conclusion and you try to justify
Yeah.
your actions by starting, like you're trying to justify your actions. You're not trying to think what is actually moral or not by
Yeah.
starting from a moral point of view and then going down. You're coming from a place where you're trying to justify eating meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
not.
I thought that was the topic.
Well, that is the topic, but that isn't the way to do it, right? Because obviously, if I'm in a position where I want to justify my own position, I will always try to say, to start from my position. But if we want to be like critical thinkers, we have to start from a perspective that is not ourselves. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we're biased.
I
towards
have
our
thought.
position.
I have actually thought about this, and I did do some time when I was a bit younger, thinking about whether I want to eat meat or not. And it was only in the end that I came to the conclusion is that like I don't really believe in a god or anything. So
Me
the
neither.
day that I die, yeah. So we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
So the day that I die, it's all blackness, and suffering is wrong because I don't think you should do it in the moment.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm dead anyways, and my hands will be washed of my supposed sins anyways.
I don't think it's
So,
sins. Yeah, I
no.
agree with you that it doesn't. None of it really matters, right? I'm actually a nihilist. I'm an existential
Yeah.
nihilist myself. So
I
I
would
don't
say
think
I am too.
I don't think there's any logic or reason to what we do.
But then you are very passionate about this, and you're talking to people on the streets why to be vegan.
Yeah,
a nihilist wouldn't do that.
But I'm an existential nihilist, so in that
Yeah.
sense, I believe I can give my life a purpose by doing what I do.
Ah,
but
okay.
but the idea is, I don't think there's any. Even if I choose to do something wrong, or what I consider morally wrong,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any repercussions, or there
Yeah.
has to be repercussions. I don't
Yeah.
think believe
That's
that
the way I thought about it as
there's
well.
a fault
Yeah.
or
If
a
I eat
sin or
animals,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that. Because that's the way I see it. It's also my life, my experience as I go through it. It's my own universe, right? Like the minute I die, all of this dies. Like it doesn't matter if when I die, the whole universe explodes or dies with me.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
me, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the way I see it is, each person or each individual experiences the same thing. It's their whole life, it's their whole existence, their whole universe. And animals experience the same thing.
Yeah.
It's their whole life, their whole existence, their whole experience. So for me to grab that from somebody else because I believe it's nihilistic, the world is nihilistic and it doesn't matter. I think it's kind of selfish, you know. Like I think nihilism doesn't imply that I can just go around destroying everybody else's experience, but rather that I can just do whatever I want with my experience without influencing everybody else's experience.
Your whole argument there is the same reason why animals eat meat, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
What do you mean?
The same reason why a lion would just eat something because it's not bothered in the end, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't think about the thing that is killed.
Yeah.
So a lot of humans walking through from day to day eating meat, not caring that it's killed. It's the same thing that I've got an approach on.
Yeah, but again, like if I were to use this logic, I could apply this logic also to humans. I could go around killing humans and eating them.
I think you go to jail quite quickly though.
Yeah, but let's say if I find a legal loophole where I do that, right? Like if I could go around like
I don't know a single country where
like
legal is murder.
Hell, I could even go around killing people who eat meat, you know? Like if I'm such a passionate thing about this, right? I could go around doing that, but
I think
don't
you'd be regarded as a psychopath.
I don't, yeah, but I don't think, but I don't care, right? I'm a nihilist. I don't care.
Yeah,
So I don't think any of this matters. Like the reason why I don't do it is not because it's illegal or because it's because I consider that they're victims. Because I don't want to create victims from people. Because their whole experience would be tainted. They would lose their whole experience. They would lose their whole universe, or their whole experience of the universe would be tainted, would be shitty. It's the same thing would happen to an animal.
Yeah.
Just because an animal can't express it, it doesn't mean that it won't happen to them. Just because they don't speak the same language as us doesn't mean it won't happen to them.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's
Yeah.
the whole idea. That's why I'm vegan, because I'm like, it's fair. It's not fair towards them. It wouldn't be fair towards a human being. It's the same action. It doesn't matter who the perpetrator is, as long as they would feel the consequences of my action. It doesn't matter if they're cognitively superior to me or not. It doesn't matter if they have super intelligence or no intelligence at all. As long as they feel the repercussions, it's wrong to do it to them.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I understand your point. I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't subscribe. That's all. Man, you're a good guy. Keep up your work, honestly.
Have a
I'm
good
sorry,
one.
man. I hope somebody else a bit more nice comes along for you.
Have a good one.
bro.
Yeah. Hi, you wanna try? Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Okay.
Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? What's your name?
Aliana.
Aliana?
Aliana, yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Belarus.
Oh, nice, nice. I'm from Romania, so. Okay, I'm gonna turn this around. Tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal. What do you think?
I think it shouldn't be legal.
Why not?
Why not? Because, I mean, animals, in terms of like pets, they shouldn't be abused because it serves no purpose, only suffering. But if
Okay.
we talk about like animals like pigs, we shouldn't also abuse them, but since we need them to survive, I think we should treat them humanely.
What if we didn't need them to survive?
Then I think we also shouldn't abuse them.
Okay, so then do you know that the scientific consensus is that we don't need any animal products to survive and thrive?
I'm not sure. I heard about a lot of people who tried to be vegan and died. It's not very good.
I mean, a lot of people who have done a lot of things have tried to do some things
Yeah.
and died, right? It doesn't, whatever, regardless, like, there's people who have tried, you know what a Twinkie is? You know that thing in US?
Uh-huh.
It's like a candy bar, let's say. There are people who went on a Twinkie bar, you know, just eating Twinkies their whole life, and I mean, they had positive outcomes at first, and then they eventually died. Doesn't matter. The only thing you need to know is that you can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet according to scientific consensus.
Yeah, but all like thousands of years people survived on meat. So I think it a little bit drastic change to just do it. Maybe we should gradually come to a more plant-based diet, but not abruptly.
How often do you eat meat?
Maybe every day.
Every day. Do you think people in the past would eat meat every day?
I don't know.
Because you'd use that argument, right?
Maybe.
I don't think it matters, but you use this argument, so I'm going to use your argument against it.
But people in the past didn't have a lot of things, and now we live much
So it doesn't
better.
really matter what they did in the past.
I think it matters in terms of health. A lot of health problems were in the past, and now we solved them. And I think it also partly
Because of medicine.
Because of medicine and a more healthy diet with more balanced. We have more nutrients from.
And do you think a balanced diet implies animal products every day?
Depends on which type of meat, because they say that we shouldn't eat a lot of red meat.
No, all red meat is cancerogenic.
Yeah, it's bad, but
Any red meat,
like,
like even a little bit, it still increases your chances of cancer, colon cancer.
yeah, it's bad, but we can eat chicken or fish more often, because it's very hard to get proteins from plants.
Okay, but like no, it's not very hard to get proteins from plants. It's
I
quite
don't-
easy
for
to get
me,
protein
it's
from
hard.
plants. But are you protein deficient? Have you heard of anybody dying of protein deficiency?
No, but you know, when you try to build muscle, you need a lot of protein, and
I build muscle. I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm actually a powerlifter. So
you maybe buy these special substances like protein powder.
protein powders, yeah.
Uh,
Are you a bodybuilder?
I'm not a bodybuilder, but I train and I try to eat enough protein.
You don't use protein powder?
No, I try to take it from natural sources like fish. or
Why?
chicken. Because it seems more natural to me.
Why does it matter if it's natural or not?
It's more healthy.
Do you think that if something is healthy, it automatically implies that it's if something is natural, it automatically implies that it's healthy?
No, but
So it doesn't matter then that it's natural.
you know, when you look at the chicken, you see a chicken. more clearly. Maybe it's just my psychological bias. Maybe I'm wrong.
So when you look at a chicken, you see a chicken. Let me see if I have a chicken.
Yeah, you told me that they feed them a lot of bad substances.
Yeah, but so when you look, let me see. This isn't a chicken. No, that's a chicken. See if I find a chicken here. Mm. Oh, this is a goose. Okay. No. I can't seem to find a chicken here. Oh, this is a chicken. So this is natural to you. This is for eggs.
Yeah.
Tell me what's natural about this.
I never seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, like your powder, it's not maybe less controlled by different organizations. And
It doesn't really matter. Listen, at the end of the day, so by the way, I'm studying to be a certified nutritionist. You can get, I'll just put it this way. You can get all your nutritional needs and you can have an excellent pleasure from food by eating just plant-based. The only difference is that there's no victims on that side, right? You don't exploit or slaughter innocent beings.
But why is it so important to you that we don't kill animals?
Why is it important to you that we don't kill humans?
You know, most of the time it's not very important for me because I'm just going around here and there are a lot of people in the world just die. I'm not doing anything.
But you're not supporting it also, right?
I'm also not supporting it, but with food, I don't think I'm also like actively support anything.
I mean, when you buy an animal product, you're supporting the exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of one animal.
I don't feel like it.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you feel. That's the fact, right? Like
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
the
buying
fact.
the meat, it's the meat is a part of a body of somebody else. It's a part of some animal's body. They lost their life because
But
you bought
other
it.
animals also killed animals.
But you see,
are they
I'm having
allowed?
difficulty with you telling you that it's wrong to eat animals or telling you that it's wrong to exploit and slaughter innocent animals. Do you think I would have any luck doing that with animals? I think it's wrong that other animals do it also. If anybody has an option not to kill one innocent, sentient individual, then they should not do it, regardless whether they're animals, humans, or whatever they are, insects, whatever they are. If you can have the option between killing a chicken and not killing a chicken, why would you choose to kill a chicken when you can choose not to?
Because I will die without it.
Well, again, you
It's,
again you equalize it for nutrition. You say the same nutrition you can get from plants, same macronutrients, same micronutrients you can get from plants
But
and
you
from
know how
chickens.
the
Why would you
plants
choose to exploit
to
a chicken?
grow, they need like get animals' feces, animals' bodies to rot, and also they kind of need animals.
You mean like as fertilizers?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's our other fertilizers. You don't need to have those fertilizers. There's even natural fertilizers that are not coming from animals, like black currants or other stuff. It doesn't, like, fertilizers don't have to come from animals. But is that why you choose to eat chickens? Is that why you would choose to exploit and slaughter a chicken?
But
over,
you know, also
over-
maybe if there were more like accessible food, which is not animals, more of it, and it was cheaper, maybe more people would start eating. But nowadays, it's also
It is cheaper to be plant-based.
I don't know. I don't find it cheaper.
But how would you know? Because you haven't tried it.
Yeah, I never tried, but I just saw the prices of some vegan products. They seem to be more
You saw,
expensive.
which vegan products did you see the price of?
Like I don't know how they are named.
Like plant-based meats?
Yeah, like this kind
Yeah,
of
do you
stuff.
have to eat those?
Mm.
What about pasta, rice, beans, lentils, chickpeas, tofu? All of this is
Oh,
cheap and
it's not very good for my stomach, like because I have gastritis and it's not good to eat a lot of this kind of types of food. Also,
it's not good to eat if you have
they're-
gastritis, and it's not good to eat.
like peas and tofu, this kind of they produce more gas and it's bad for stomach.
I think what produces more gas, it's either a lot of fiber or a lot of protein. But you say you want a lot of protein, so why does that matter to you?
I don't know. It's just my doctor told me not to eat this a lot.
Doctors don't have nutritional trainings, by the way. Like it's a common.
Oh,
No, doctors
okay.
have only training ever, like they know very little about nutrition. That's why there's nutritionists or dietitians. The dietitians are doctors who have specialized in nutrition. Every other doctor is not, doesn't have nutritional training. They'd have the most minimum amount.
Okay. So I think I should go now. But what is the point of your social experiment?
To not exploit innocent sentient animals.
And you would just ask a lot of people and see how many change their mind?
Well, a lot of people do want to change their mind, yes. Some don't. Like, I find, like, some people are not open-minded to the idea that they can stop exploiting animals. But
I just think we have a problem with nutrition in general. Like, people eat a lot of unhealthy food in general.
yeah,
And
I'm not here to tell you if you to
Yeah.
eat healthy or unhealthy. I'm here to tell you to not eat sentient individuals. To not eat, to
if
not
we,
force them
like,
into slaughterhouses.
Put it together, to promote more healthy and also more plant-based diet together. Maybe.
But it's not a diet what I'm promoting here. It's an animal rights movement. Animals deserve the right to their own body and their own life. Do you think that do you think that we should have control over an animal's body? Do you think we deserve to have the right to control an animal however we want to? As long as we get some benefit from it?
We just do this with humans.
But do you think we should have this right? I'm not saying if we do it. I'm asking you if we should have this right. Do you think it's right to do this?
It's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question because you know that if you're going to say yes, you're going to have to acknowledge that it's wrong to do this to animals.
It's just, from some point of view, it's wrong, but on the other hand, it's kind of natural how nature works.
Well, nature doesn't forcefully impregnate cows, steal their babies, steal their milk, kill their babies, and then kill them after 6 years. Cows can live 25. So no, this is not natural. Nothing we do to an animal agriculture is natural. All of it is as
But
artificial as we
what we do
can.
with plants is also not natural, and we destroy the environment.
We destroy the environment with animal agriculture, yes.
And with plant-based also.
Well, the fact that one individual who is vegan has the environmental footprint, like the land use is a quarter of somebody who eats meat, a quarter. If you eat meat, 4 times land used for you. Water is even more. It's like 6 to 8 times. It's way worse for the environment. But this, again, does it matter? Like, it's better, it's good. It would be good for the environment to kill half the population on Earth. That doesn't mean we should do it, right?
Yeah. Maybe we could gradually reduce it.
But what does reducing it make? You're still exploiting and slaughtering. You're still doing it. See what I mean? Like, if you're an animal abuser, once a week, you're still an animal abuser.
Yeah.
It's better, obviously, to be an animal abuser once a week than every day, but you're still an animal abuser.
Okay, I think I should go already.
Okay, can I give you a card to look into it?
A card?
Yeah. Are you going to look into the card?
I mean, this like what?
Like a card.
Okay.
Look into it? I don't want to waste the card if you're not going to look into it.
Okay, I will look.
Okay. Go scan this code or go on this website and type in this code. Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. It's really good. It will help you. It will help you understand what I mean. That's it. You get to make your choices. I'm not police you, obviously. But what I'll tell you also is that if you decide that you don't want to be part of this horrible violence towards animals, Challenge 22, it's free. Hook you up with a nutritionist. Send you recipes every day to help you go vegan. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a I think I'm done, everybody. I think he's using a gun. Apples, apparently. I'm sorry, the audio is breaking. I don't know what to do. Is it better? Better? I don't know. I'm in Netherlands, Mr. Vegan World. Maybe the battery is low. I don't know. No, the battery is okay. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like this video. Do all that beautiful stuff for me. I am in Amsterdam here. I will continue fighting for animals. Not right now because I'm pretty tired of it. I see some two people. I see some people made donations. I don't know who made donations. Thank you so much for donating. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please just go out there and speak for the animals yourself. If you're not vegan, please be vegan. What are you doing? Don't. I'm pretty tired. You can see it on my face. Also, I look at myself now and I see my face and I'm pretty tired. If you're not vegan, please go vegan. Stop exploiting innocent beings. Let me just show you what you're paying for if you're not vegan, by the way. You say, nah, meat is great, salt miner. Let me show you kind of what you are paying for. This is the kind of stuff that you're paying for, just to be clear. Let's see. Let's go one by one. Yeah, if you wouldn't. This is the kind of stuff. This is the artificial insemination of a dairy cow. There you go. Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and injects bull semen. This is how somebody jerks off a bull. There's also methods nowadays. This is this is how they milk them. This is obviously how they kill them with the bolt gun to the head. The calves are separated from their mothers. Sometimes they're smashed. Slaughtered unborn. It's just awful. All of it is awful. These are male chicks who are blended up alive for eggs. This is the kind of stuff that you pay for. When you consume animal products, this is what you're supporting. This right here. This extreme violence towards animals. When you buy leather, you support the same thing. This extreme violence towards animals. Let me get to it and then we'll be done. This right here. This, you see? This is what you're paying. You're forcing animals to these places where they're hung upside down and have their throat cut. If you wouldn't do it yourself, please don't do it to other animals. And I see some people being in the chat go like, num, 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 or I like meat or whatever it is that you're saying. It's just being a coward and hiding behind a facade. That's what it is. Because, you know, courage is admitting when you're wrong and doing the right thing. Courage is about not exploiting innocent beings. Courage is about, just because if you have power over somebody doesn't mean you abuse them, okay? Courage means taking care of the powerless, not taking advantage of them. So, thank you so much everybody for being here. Again, if you're not vegan, please be vegan. You saw what you're supporting. If you're vegan, please go out there and speak up for the animals. They need some more of us to speak up. I got a little bit ticked off about that guy with who believed animals are just inferior, or they didn't even call them inferior. He just said that they're okay to be slaughtered, I guess, whatever. It's weird. Thank you so much everybody for being here. Thank you for whoever donated. I don't see it. I think there were some good conversations today. There was also some really tiring conversations, and that conversation was pretty long with that guy. Thank you for being here. Who've you been here? Thank you for the moderators for taking it for keeping the chat clean and helping out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support that you give. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, have an awesome vegan day, everybody. Have an awesome vegan day. Even if you're not vegan, don't have an awesome day. I hope you have a horrible day. Horrible day. If you're not vegan, I hope you have the worst day ever, okay? If you're not vegan, I hope you go out there and you stub your toe in the door. You know that door when you stub your toe into the foot of the door? I hope you do that if you're not vegan. JD said 10 pounds. Thank you so much, JD, for the donation at the last moment. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so may you stub your toe if you're not vegan. And if you're vegan, may you get something nice to you. I don't know. I'm just doing dumb wishes and being childish over here. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Have an awesome day. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, everybody. I appreciate all of you. And I especially appreciate all the donations. JD, thank you so much. I'm sorry to be ending right now when you made the donation, but I'm pretty tired and getting hungry. So yeah, bye, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a good one.